Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. North American stock futures back in positive territory once again this morning, trying to bounce back from a losing week last week. We have the Biden administration inauguration coming up tomorrow. All three major U.S. indexes in positive territory so far this morning. We'll talk about the NASDAQ and S&P in depth a little bit coming up here, but both were down 1.5% on the week last week. The Dow off about 0.9% at the end of the week. It was the worst weekly performance since all the way back in October. Individually this morning, EV makers remain in the driver's seat, back in positive territory. NIO to the upside. We had 3 days in a row to the downside for this entire group. So NIO did price that offering we were talking about at the end of last week. We'll have a look at NIO. Tesla shares also higher in the pre-market, up about 2%. And we'll also look at BlackBerry. More positivity coming around the Canadian software maker, back in positive territory, along with Plug Power. Big move for Plug this morning. It's Tuesday, January 19th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. There we go. Look at Asian markets from the overnight session. Nicely positive here, top to bottom, 2+%. In fact, for both Chinese markets, Korea as well, 2.6% to the upside. Let's go over to Europe, see how things are shaping up so far. Yeah, more positivity here, a little bit more muted though. Spain in negative territory, Sweden as well. Everything else, little change. We'll flip over one more time and have a look at North American futures here. Yeah, both the S&P and Dow about 0.6%. You can see the NASDAQ nearly 0.8% to the upside. Brazil open already 0.75% to the upside. Bitcoin up 2% this morning. And we have both crude oil and gold back in positive territory once again. Good morning, guys. It is Tuesday morning. Hope you enjoyed your long weekend. We are back in the driver's seat once again. Lots to talk about this morning. Inauguration obviously coming up tomorrow. We'll keep an eye on all things coming out of Washington. A lot of security in place for that event. Some issues with that over the weekend. We have lots of individual names to talk about this morning. More bank earnings to get to. And obviously the EVs are moving once again.
Yes, sir. And you ask if we enjoy the weekend. Last I checked, Packers won, Bills won. Fantastic. I had a great weekend. Happy belated MLK Day for all of you that were celebrating yesterday. Some of you might have been trading in Canada. If you weren't, hope you enjoyed that day off. I feel like we're going to need to get Ethereum on that board along with Bitcoin. But, I think that's going to be a little bit of a play. But also some bank earnings. We get the rest of the bank earnings this week. Goldman already blew it out of the water. We'll see, not so much. Bank of America, Morgan Stanley later on this week. Netflix, I think, after the bell. I think we have another good week coming up here. It's only a short week, but there's a lot to pack in here. And, of course, as you mentioned, Brendan, the EV space certainly in play. But you're not wiping the smile off my face because the Bills are impressive. Although I was surprised, Sean, I actually thought, going football here, I actually thought that the Packer game would be a little bit closer than it was, but they look pretty dominant.
Yeah, exactly. I'm hoping for Bills-Packers Super Bowl. I mean, that would be classic for me. I also have Bills winning the AFC, so I made that bet before the playoffs. So that's going to cash in again. And talk about cashing in, guys. I mean, GameStop up today as well, and then AMC's been up. Shout out to, I think it was Christopher. We talked about that on Friday. I went long Friday AMC as well, and now GameStop's up to 40, 41 again. Look, it's going to be a great week. You talked about the bank earnings. JP Morgan and Wells Fargo and Citigroup on Friday. A little disappointing. They're all rallying back a little bit now. And then you get Goldman Sachs, which is the big trading firm, of course. And then the Money Center Bank, the deposit bank, BAC, going to the downside. But we'll have some good levels for you. We're super excited. I thought it was Monday, but it's Tuesday. So welcome, guys. 4-day week. We're here every day. It should be a fun one. And we're excited. Look at BFT as well.
Yeah, indeed. Some SPAC news to come. We'll talk about that Churchill Capital possibly turning into Lucid Motors as well, moving once again to the upside this morning. Remember, that deal is not done yet, so it could be any day now. Palantir also with some positive news this morning with PG&E out in California. We'll touch on Palantir coming up. Before we do, though, let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Valeria.
Good morning, Brandon. And hey guys, we're happy to be back and wish you a great trading day. Please hit thumbs up and let's get it started, Brandon.
All right, guys, yeah, we'll start things off with maybe a look at Palantir. I did notice that it was higher in the pre-market, but not really doing a heck of a lot. Some positive news, though, picking up a contract here to supply some software technology for monitoring purposes for PG&E when it comes to the hydro grid out in California. Everybody is very familiar, or should be, with PG&E, the former bankrupt PCG. Managing most of the power grid out in California. So yet another day and another contract here for Palantir, guys.
Yeah, it seems like this stock, if you look at the last few sessions here, it's been a bit of a chop fest overall, but the trend has been to the upside as they continue to get these, continue to get contract after contract. At some point, this lull is probably going to end when you get a bit of a wedge like this. I've been watching like the 2660 area as a bit of a convergence, and today it actually lines up for like a 27 type breakout. Now it's done this twice, so worth noting. You know, on the way back in, you are going to run into some likely resistance, this 2860 area, if we do get that break. And the pattern has also been when it finds that top. And it's usually, if you go back on the 13th and Thursday and you go to Friday, these are both morning breaks to the high. So the high of the day each day has been on that morning break. So you want to make sure you're catching that type of a level push. You know, the 2660 and 27. Ideally, you'll want to be in and out very, very quickly and then maybe looking for a bit of a bottom. I mean, the pattern has been rather clear, at least the last couple of sessions on the bullish note. For Palantir, this was a day trading stock. I think it's one of those things where you kind of do it until it stops working, and you know, similar to how buying the dip on NEO made a lot of sense for multiple sessions in a row. I think this one's going to be interesting in that same regard. I don't know necessarily that this news really shocks anybody from the long term. They've been piling these up for the last little bit, so I just look for that little opening day trade there and see if we can take advantage of it.
Yeah, 2650, 2640. So, you know, all of you guys know that we've been long Palantir for a while, and it's still, unfortunately, I don't know. I mean, it's nice to get the contracts, but we're still in this range. We dipped down. You can see the 50-period moving average is moving up now, so this is great, but obviously it's moving up as the price stays stable and stays high, and so I'm really happy with the way this one's performing. Obviously, we thought that it would get to $30 by now, but we're only in the third week of January. I think we can get to 30, no problem, at some point, even in the next couple weeks. But as they just keep on ramping up the contracts, they're going to wait for earnings. It's going to be their second report, so that's going to be coming out, I think, in a couple weeks. We'll find out the date for that. But Palantir going to be coming out now, 26, 27. I still like a 2650 break if we can get to that. That's 27 even. Some tops from Friday, and then 27 again right there. So look. I mean, we're going to go long Palantir, but we're just going to let the board tell us what to do. Check out the imbalance locator, and it's just down here. It's pretty small. 255,000 shares for Palantir. So BFT is pretty good. We talked about that. That's going to be pay safe. BlackBerry's still on board, and then the runner, hopefully, of all runners today is hopefully going to be AMC. So that's touching off. I wrote down 275 as was going to be a position there, but it's broken through that. So we're looking at 280 now on AMC, but we'll get to that as we go down our list, boys.
Going to double check the earnings day there for you, Sean, on Palantir. I think it might be February. They haven't actually updated that yet, but we'll double check. I want to talk about the cruise lines. I know a lot of people like to look at the cruise lines. CCL, Norwegian, moving to the upside again this morning. There was a headline here, guys, when it comes to Norwegian coming out. This is turning into almost a monthly occurrence now. They're extending their suspension of operations once again. But if you have a look at some of these charts, I mean, looking a little more positive here today. This is CCL, 1.8%. You flip over to Norwegian. There we go. Also in positive territory, 1.5%. I mean, similar, Sean, as you were just saying with Palantir, we're kind of in this sideways kind of choppy action on a daily chart. But all of these cruise lines positive today.
Yeah. And I think, you know what, Brennan, I think it goes to what we were just sort of talking about there a little bit. And when you talk about the cruise lines, it's going to have to be the reopened trade. I'm more positive about the vaccine now. I mean, we had some good notes here in Ontario, and I'm sure wherever you guys are as well. Hopefully the vaccine's being rolled out in a little more efficient manner starting soon than it has been. And I think that helps these stocks. So that's kind of an obvious statement to make there, but it's true, right? The more the reopen happens, the more pent-up demand there's going to be for cruise lines, and Carnival is the one I trade. You can look at all of them. Norwegian, I mean, they're all the same. They're all going to pretty much chart the same when there's no specific news. But yeah, 21.20 here. I like trading Carnival just better than the other ones. I don't know if there's any setup here rather than you take out 21.50 maybe happens. You're only at 21.17 right now. That was the high from Thursday. Friday, pretty choppy, almost the same high, 21.40. Looks like we're taking these all out. I don't think today's going to be a short day. The NASDAQ's up, the ES is up. So I don't think we'll look short unless something happens today. And I'm only want to look long on the cruise lines from now on for a day trade unless we get some sort of crazy negative news. So I think we have to wait for 21.50, but I like it. That's Carnival. I don't know if you're looking at another one, Neil. I always like Carnival.
Yeah, I mean, stick to Carnival. In terms of a day trade, there's probably not going to be a better vehicle just because of the volume and the volatility it puts in. This 21 level, even on a bit of a dip, I kind of like as well. Just sort of worth noting, and we're not going to necessarily talk about the airlines. It's just probably a better recovery play overall in terms of business travel will probably lag, and I think that's going to hurt a little bit for the airlines relative to at least the cruise names. So there's probably a little bit more upside. I think short term, this 21 area, if we can bounce off that, maybe there's even a scalp trade that allows you, just looking at this bunch up. We like to look at these bunches, and it's been a bit of a pivot off of this 21 bunch, holding in the mornings, above it, and then breaking down in the afternoon, and sort of the same thing happening on Friday as well. So Thursday and Friday, same thing off that 21. If we hold it, I like a quick little long on CCL off of that level. I think it's a solid day trade in there. There's probably going to be some bigger runs today in terms of volatility. Sort of looking at what we expect at BlackBerry, GameStop, and AMC from last week. But solid trade here, I think, off 21 and CCL.
I want to talk about some 3D printers coming up here. I just noticed Southwest, for anyone watching the airlines today, there was a Citigroup price target increase for Southwest. $250 from $40. So just a heads up, some positivity there as well. This 3D Systems, guys, catching an upgrade today and a price target increase from Stifel here, 28. This thing's had some big moves over the past week or so for Triple D.
Yeah, this one's been a bit of a this one's been a train, one that you don't want to step in front of. Now it's got a bit of it's not really a double top. This 31.50 to 32. There was a breakthrough on Thursday, and then an oddly sideways type of day. Now I came in on Friday looking at this 30 level, thinking that was going to be very actionable. There was a break. It was a bit of a fail break, and then we sort of came all the way back in to the morning support at 28. So I feel like those are the levels to work with on 3D. You just watch out if it does break through the top and you're shorting this one. A play that I kind of liked on Friday. Today, I don't know that I like that much. I think you're looking at 30 break here. I mean, 30.15 is a pre-market high. If you want to get a little bit impatient with it, certainly you can take it at 30 and a quarter, just to give yourself some more room. And the only reason I say that is because it's broken this 30 multiple times on Friday and then sort of snapped back down. So as long as you have an idea, certainly how far you want to hold back on a pullback, if it's going to be all the way to this 29.35 pre-market bottom, you want to make sure you have a bit of an out. Just noting it's only done 170,000 shares in pre-market, which not terribly bad, but it just feels like it's gearing up to move again. That would be all bets off. Below this 28 level, if it fails, you get a couple of breaks to this level, 30. If it fails to break to the upside today, you are looking at an opportunity for it to break down at that 28. But I would not short. I'm not shorting this thing unless it's below that 28 level. Actually, I just got some on a pullback there on AMC. I was sort of noting at 7 o'clock when I sat down that the 7 o'clock action when it came in was to the sell side and could not get it past 265 with conviction. And then it held a 10-cent channel. It's outside of that channel. That's a long for me outside of that channel. So I just grabbed some here at 77 on AMC.
You went long, right?
Yep.
Okay, good. Yeah, we like the long on AMC, that's for sure. And I just want to show this. On Friday, we had Kevin O'Leary here. It was really super fun. And he finally posted up onto his Instagram. He looks pretty young there. Hey, what's up, KO? But yeah, it's pretty nice to see that Trader TV's live right here. 28,000 replays. So a nice little opportunity there to see Kevin O'Leary, see us, join us all on Instagram as well. You can find our link there, but that was nice to see. Thank you for that with Kevin on Friday, and we talked everything timepieces. He's doing a new little set with that. More to come on that. Follow him there. Follow us to get all the information. And yeah, Neil just went over 3D. I mean, Mark Roberts brought us this name not too long ago. We like it. It gets upgraded today. So just watch out. I mean, it's still highly shorted, and that's why we liked it in the first place, Brendan. So I'm not going to. I mean, Neil just went on about it. So I agree with everything. You just got to watch out for this 28. If that breaks, you'll probably get some south side action. And then if the squeeze really is on, then it's going to happen right here at 31. So watch out for this 31 break up to 32.50. If it can get that and it squeezes to the high side because of the short interest, then you probably do test 32, and then we see what happens up there. So a 31 break on 3D, and your boy's going to get into that one.
All right, guys. So anyone watching this, Churchill Capital, the company just came out and made a comment in regards to this possible Lucid Motors deal. Just fell $1, actually more than $1 now, down 4.5% here. They basically came out and said they will not comment on any potential deals or agreements that they may be involved with when it comes to mergers or possible companies that they will take public. So remember, this is a SPAC, and all this move, in fact, was all caused by rumors that they're going to merge with US-based Lucid Motors, another EV maker. So big move down here, guys, for CCIV. This one is on the watch list, fair warning, but we can talk about it here as these headlines come out.
Wow. And
You just got to watch out for the SPACs. I mean,
yeah, it was all back and forth last week, and I think you're going to see this. I mean, we might get there now. 16, 16, 20 was a bit of a bottom. Apologies, my 15-minute chart, not really going back too much further, although I don't know that I really needed to. It had a big ramp up in this $16 to $25 range when everyone was anticipating that the announcement would come in favor of this with Lucid. I think when they said last week they were still on target to make some kind of a deal in the next before April, along those lines. So I think Lucid's still technically in play here, but obviously I'd be hands off until we get to that sort of Friday support. I mean, it's Friday and Thursday support at 16. I'm not touching this one. I was going to look for a long break off the morning if there was going to be some speculation that maybe this was going to get announced today, but obviously that's not going to be the case. So you can't really short it off this level because you're like $2 away from that 19. I'll be looking at 16, 16, 20. It's going to be a tricky one to play here, guys, because I think a lot of people that were long are holding the bag from last week, and there might be a lot of dumping off of the open. So look to see if it actually holds a 16 level, and maybe there's something to that. This is not necessarily dead. It's just there was overwhelming anticipation this would get announced potentially today.
yeah, that's going to be always the risk, Brendan, with these SPACs, right? The news comes out, and we got to figure out what they're all doing with each other, and then moving around. No earnings reports, no nothing. So we'll wait to see. I'm also now in on AMC, but I think there's going to be a big play once this market opens. So AMC right now, long 81s as well.
Yeah, the interesting part on that, guys, that Churchill Capital is 15, almost 16 billion potential value on that deal. They're saying 15.8, 15.9 billion potentially. So on the high end when it comes to some of the SPACs that we have seen of late. If you have not done so, guys, make sure you sign up for the watch list that we send out every single morning before we come on at 8:30. Absolutely free to you. We send it right to your email inbox every single morning. If you need help with that, Valeria will set you up and get you the link. All you have to do is enter your email. Let's jump into what is moving around, guys, in the pre-market. NEO will kick things off once again this morning, back in positive territory. We mentioned that $750 million offering they talked about last week. They went ahead and priced those senior notes as of today, 2026 and 2027 on the due dates for both of those. So NIO, guys, back to the upside, another 4.5% and change percent.
I mean, yeah, we're going to put the unplugged there. Ooh, there it goes. Yeah, but NEO back to the high side. We've sniffed out some of these shorts the last couple days as it made all-time highs off that NEO day, which was a week ago. I guess Monday was the first time to trade it last week. And we saw sort of some of the reactions that they had on the daily chart here. Let's just call that up. Again, we always say this. It's trade the news. something like that. I forget what it is. Buy the rumor, sell the news. So there you go. So rips up to 67. Yeah, I'm just playing around. We know what that is. All the way up to 67 on that day. And then last week, basically, straight after Monday, 4 straight down days, and then now getting that bottom, which I think is legit. I mean, I'm just going to call it like it is here. I think this is probably a pretty good bottom, 55, 56 here. We stopped off there back in November. It was, a couple double top, triple top here a little bit in late November, and then we broke through that on that Neo day there, and then now 55 held last week. So I like 55. It's actually 55.70. Now we're a little ways away from that right now, so let's look high side. So if you're going to look short, I think 57. I mean, I don't know if we get there today. Seems like it's pretty good news with the offering being on the debt there being eat up there, so that's pretty good. 58.50. This spot here, 59.35. Maybe to go. I wrote down on the sheet here $60 for Neo. So you see at the top there $60 for NIO. So we'll wait to see if it gets up there. If it does, then we're going to go pretty hard on that. We're not too far away. I think we can get to that, but to get a little more aggressive, maybe this bottom, 59.30, or you just take the top, 58.50. I just expect this to get broken before the market opens, 58.50. So if it doesn't, that's the level. Then if not, let's wait for 59.50 or so, this little bunched up area here, which leads us right to 60. So look, I'm pretty excited about it. It's Neo. It's an exciting stock. So we will be trading it. Already 2.23 million. And on the imbalance locator, it's number 4 right now. BlackBerry, wow, congratulations anybody called that. I know some people in our trader chat called that. That was a great move. And then there's Neo, GameStop, all the usual suspects. And then, I just took a little bit off of Neo or AMC right here at 85. But I like Neo today, and I like it for the long.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to like it for the long today. It just absolutely has to be, and it comes down to that 55, call it 70 to 80 that you were talking about, Sean. And it's just double dip bottom here, and then another bottom on Friday. I had 59.35 written down from this level. If you just look at the breakdown right at the open, and then that previous bottom, so that's the reason I had 59.35. But I know that the dip buys are usually good. And that sort of leads me into at least wanting an opportunity at around this 57, 75. I'd like, if I can get a price in and around like 57.50 to 75, and then we get a dip into this 57 that might be worth picking up off of the open. That's the other way to play it. But, 59 even, 59.35 was the other level I had. So if I get the dip, fair enough. We'll play it in front of that 57, around that halfway mark. Otherwise, it's that 35. And then 60, of course, does stand out as well.
All right, guys, before we get to some of the things with upgrades and downgrades today, you want to have a look at a few of these recent IPOs. I didn't notice any of them really standing out in the pre-market as far as strong or doing any kind of significant volume. We had Affirm, obviously, the biggest one from last week. There's that Plush as well. A few people have mentioned them already. So why don't we have a look at some of these IPOs that we've been looking at over the past couple weeks?
I still like Wolf. I don't know. I mean, Affirm's been there, been pretty good. But Wolf, again, not really moving, 57,000 shares. I don't know if there's a better one in the pre-market, but Wolf, $28, looking pretty solid. It bounced off there on Friday a couple times, 28, 28.20 being the top. But I'm bullish on these names. I know, Neil, you looked at Affirm a bit, and C3AI is one that you like to trade. So they're all still pretty strong. I mean, I was actually going to ask Mark Roberts, hopefully we can have him tomorrow, we're going to find out, which recent IPO, would he put his clients' money into? But I like Affirm right here. Let's see if we can get above 119, I guess.
Yeah, Affirm's the only. The reason it sticks out is just as much as the chart can matter on these only a couple of days in. I just sort of look at this, nice little trend. It keeps on putting in these higher lows all the way through, and that sort of leads you to a potential like 120 breakout here this morning. It's a couple of bucks away from that. So I'd like to see if I can get that one on Affirm. As far as Petco, I just didn't see enough action there to maybe think it's going to be a bit of a day trade, but Affirm, solid business. I think most people are at least familiar with what they do and where the room for growth is when it comes to Affirm. So, watching for that 120. It's had sharp pullbacks whenever it's made a fresh high, so I'd be a little bit wary of that as it tests like a 125, because it snapped back pretty hard when it got there on Friday, Brennan.
All right, guys, let's have a look at a few upgrades and downgrades for this morning. Significant ones anyways. There's obviously a lot more, but on the upgrade side of things this morning, FB standing out in positive territory. Nothing else terribly exciting here. These three not doing a lot of volume. Let's go to this side. Peloton Price target decrease today. We had Chewy as well, down 2% with the price target decrease. Bottom here, Space on the watch list. We're going to talk about it. Virgin Galactic, guys, had that big move up last week on the ARK investment ETF. For this entire sector announcement. So Space getting a price target decrease today, but in positive territory.
Yeah, you got to watch it. I love Virgin Galactic. Certainly, we've talked about that one, 25, 27.50, and now again. Worth noting on Peloton, there's been some concern with their deliveries, and it's been the same story over and over. That they cannot seem to meet demand. They did, of course, building that new factory in the U.S. I think is a positive for them, and they link to Affirm, of course, because a major client of Affirm. It is trying to level off this 150 level, and it does feel like there's been a multi-day sell-off, and the last time there was one, it was a bit of consolidation before a break. But I think that 150 is going to be a key one here for Peloton, even with the downgrade that you see there. It's not always the worst thing in the world when demand is big for you. So I want to see if it can hold 150. It wasn't necessarily one of my go-to ones today, but it's certainly going to be worth a look off that level this week at least.
Yeah, I'm debating getting out of Peloton, guys. We're long at 118. We double-checked that over the weekend. We were just looking at some of the portfolio there, and I just don't like it went back there. So I was nervous at this 140 break, obviously. I did put a stop order in, and I was telling Mark, one of the guys that works here, that it was lucky that this never broke on that day because I was going to get out like on a 138, 139 break, and then we're lucky enough to have it go all the way back to 167 there last week, and then hovered around that 150, 160 mark. So I'm going to probably take some off, if not exit the whole trade on Peloton. I don't know if they can get any better. I still think they're going to have great quarters, and I still think they're going to go higher. But I just wonder if we do test a little bit back here to 130 on any sort of weakness. So I think I'm going to get out of Peloton and put some more money into STIC or BFT and see what happens. But yeah, the Peloton downgrade, little bit bothersome. They are having apparently some issues with orders. I guess demand probably too high, trying to fill them, which is not a good thing. So we'll wait to see if it can clear this gap up to 158. It's a screaming long, I think, if we can break back through 158. So I definitely like that one. And then if, we are going to go through our watch list in a couple seconds. I just want to show it to everybody, but I think, did I get rid of it or did I delete it? I'm not sure where I put it, but the watch list right here, we're going to look at that. Here it is, Monday Movers. So this is what we're taking and talking about right here. You can get it for free. So a lot of these places will sell their watch list. We do not. Obviously, it's watchlist.tradertv.live. NIO's on there. Tesla, we haven't gotten to these yet. BlackBerry, Space, we just talked about on the upgrade, Plug Power, AMC. They're all here as you go down, and then even some littler ones that some of you may be looking at as well. ZOM, TRXC, some PET in there, CCIV, GameStop. So definitely make sure it's delivered free. I mean, how better can it get? Free right to your inbox, Brendan. We do the work for you. So why not do it? I want to give a big shout out to Brendan and Valeria also for working so hard on that list. Make sure you guys check that out. Brendan is amazing. So if you don't have that, I think you're trading a little blind. It's one thing that's added a lot to my successes, guys, is looking at the watch list.
I appreciate it. Yeah, no, we do this, guys, so we have a focus. We have a purpose when we come in this morning. We're not just looking for anything that's moving around and throwing darts at a board when it comes to putting on trades. We have something to look at and rely on as far as a purpose for trading. Let's go to the next one on that list, which is Tesla, guys, higher in the pre-market again. They've officially started delivering their Chinese-based manufactured Model Y within China. So that was the first positive catalyst this morning. There's a number of price target increases and changes for Tesla once again when it comes to the analyst side of things. There was some news out of India. We mentioned last week that they're going to set up shop in India. Finally, there's some regulatory hurdles that might be a problem, but wasn't a fact as of yet. But Tesla moving again here, guys.
Yeah, the thing about Tesla, we sort of say this almost every time. It just feels like it's turning into the hold don't trade stock, believe it or not. With all the volatility it's had, it's a weird thing to be able to say, but you look at last week's price action, especially off of this 840 to 850 area, and we talk about these bunches all the time, and you have a cluster just above this 850 level, 85. 850 to 860, you have another cluster right around this, hugging this 840 where we are in the pre-market. It just feels like it's a bit of a trap inside of this range. I'd like to see us hold a bit above that 860 with an 850 support and then maybe make a run to the high. I don't want to be I don't usually want to be short this name because it doesn't work out for me here, but it really does look like if we break this 830, it does really feel like there is a bit of a day trade into the short side of Tesla through that 830 level. So I do have it on my radar. Certainly there's other names that I think are going to be a little bit better. I'm already in one from last week, SCNS and small cap range. Those feel a lot safer to the short side for me, but Tesla is a no-fly zone in this 840 to 860 range. I think once we get out of here and can maybe get a definitive break at 860, maybe one of these afternoons or so, maybe we'll get it in the morning, I don't know. Then we can be off to the races and testing that 900, which feels like it's coming. It's just really, really gearing up. And it geared up all last week. Today, I would not want to get trapped in the middle of this range. As much as you could range-bound trade it recently, I wouldn't fall for that trap again.
Okay, I did want to, Tesla's been a good stock. We'll look at some levels. It'll start running off the open, and then you can just play the momentum. But look, I didn't go back and forth, but I talked to Kevin O'Leary a little bit about gambling versus investing versus trading versus what we do. And I just think that Michael Ross here, I'm going to give you a shout out because you're speaking my language here. I've never even been, I've been to this Reddit stream before, but that's just because someone was mentioning it to me. I don't really care about Wall Street bets, but you do have to understand that what Michael is saying here, their sales are horrible, profit negative. You're always going to get people talking both ways about it, but just be very, very careful, guys, that when you see a stock like GameStop or AMC that is really going GameStop's a better example. Let me just call up GameStop here. And I'm going to say parabolic, but the thing about it is they're heavily shorted stocks. Brendan can come with the short interest here and tell you guys what they are on both of these stocks. But, when you get good news along with, shorts, like people getting caught here on all of these moves, right? Like they build their shorts up here and then it comes back down. So they're like, yeah, we're winning. And then bang, and then bang. They keep getting short squeezed. And then you have Ryan Cohen, the Chewy co-founder, coming on board. You have a lot of different rhetoric now with PS5 and whatnot, different things like that. Xbox coming through. So you do have a lot of catalysts to the upside. So what winds up happening is a lot of these stocks get blown out to the short side and then boom, they get margin called and they start taking off. And I think that's something very similar is happening here in AMC today because I didn't really see any news. I went long on Friday night, played options on this stock, posted it up on Twitter as well. So, the thing is that you're going to be able to find that this is one of those stocks that possibly right now, I don't know why this is only going back to January, but this was basically left for dead AMC. Now you're popping up here on who knows what the news is going to be for AMC. But again, it's just people getting nervous. It's options and it's call buying, right? The more calls that are bought, the more these are going to have to get covered. So you do get a little bit of an uptick here on AMC. So just watch out on non-news, specific stocks that tend to move like this. So AMC's that. You get some moves in the EV space as well. So if you want to put your money into something a little more safe that can run, then I think you got to stick with the bigger names like a NEO or something where you can still get a lot of upside without that pressure of some of these Wall Street bets and some of these, as we like to say, YOLO traders around here.
We do have AMC, Sean, on the watch list this morning. The only real story I saw was they finalized $100 million in new debt at 15 and 17%. Any weighting in that? That's huge. The more debt, if they're able to take on debt, then hopefully they can restructure and survive a little bit longer, right? It's just about getting more money for payroll, getting more money to sort of support the theaters that are open. And again, I'm not familiar. We don't have theaters open here at all in Ontario, and I don't think across Canada. So obviously that business is going to suffer, but. Yeah, the more people, it's like Carnival. They got an infusion, they had a share offering, it was bought up, and then the stock ripped. So they're delivering more debt to take in cash. So whenever they do that, hopefully they can put that to work. And then I think that, like I said here, if I can let me call up a daily chart, a proper one here for you, so I can show you what we're talking about here with AMC. Like this is what we're talking about. So back down in March, obviously we've seen the drop off here. This is it. It was struggling from a long time ago because Netflix, Disney Plus, look, the headwinds are incredible for this name. But look what happened in March. So we were at $7, really in big trouble, dropped all the way down here to $2, and
And then we've just sort of been like, there's not too many stocks, and Neil, you know this as well, there's not too many stocks that are still at these March lows that actually have a realistic opportunity to bounce a little bit.
That's exactly the point, Sean.
Yeah, thank you. So that's exactly the point. So that's exactly the point that we're trying to get through here. And it has an opportunity to bounce. I'd be happy if it gets to $3. That's probably where I'd sell. I'm not trying to YOLO this thing back to 7, Neil. But if it breaks, hey, I mean, like you mentioned to some of our friends in some of our chats, we don't know where these things are going.
Yeah, I mean, if it does break 3 and gets out of that range, I mean, it was a good short at 450. I do remember that because we were taking it on the show for a couple of days. But I just want to show you guys a quick chart of Cinemark here. And this has been, I guess, a better play in terms of the recovery, in terms of strength than AMC, but it just shows you, relatively speaking, off of those bottoms from all the way back in March, made fresh lows in October, and then making a huge comeback, almost 3x towards this summer high at $20, and then approaching another retake of that level, all while AMC is resting at the bottom here. So you are seeing a rather large divergence. When AMC was showing weakness, I used to say over and over again, why am I not looking at Cinemark? And it just goes to show this is really just a risk to reward type of play for a lot of people. We're talking about day trading here primarily, so we look where the momentum is, and a lot of signs point to there being that in AMC today, and that's the reason why we want to show you. I just want to make sure you guys saw Cinemark because it's been so much stronger relatively and could be breaking out on its own through 20 again here in the next couple of days.
Okay, let's bring in Arun here. We'll have a look at the overall market, see what levels we need to. We're late, guys. We can't keep Arun waiting. Arun, good morning. It's Tuesday. What are you looking at this morning?
When you come back from a long weekend and the market starts going sideways, you're kind of forced into waiting for the open because there's no information. Any trading that was done on a shortened day or on a holiday, because the Globex market is open for a shortened period, like for the future specifically. So whatever volume got yesterday was, you can't really trust it because it's light volume. So you're kind of forced to wait for the open. Now the top end level is still 38.25. I used that level all week last week, so that's still decent distance away. That's 40 points away or so. And the bottom, we've got 37.65. That's what I'm looking at. At this point, 37.85, there's no read. The market's just gone sideways. Apart from that one little pop just before midnight, there's been a whole lot of nothing, pretty much, right? So in terms of trading, you're going to have to wait for about like a support buy setup. I would think around the 80 mark to use the 37.65 as a stop. It does look like it's consolidating. Usually this kind of a move after a drift up kind of tends to be an expansion, but at the same time, it was holiday based. So I'm not going to make any prejudgments on this. I'm going to wait for the market to open. I'll use the 37.65 or the 38.25, depending on what kind of setup we get. If we get that breakout, then we have the potential for an expansion. If we get that rejection off the top end, then maybe the shorts are in play. But again, you do have to wait for the open, especially coming out of a long weekend.
Great stuff. Thanks so much, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning before we get to the open here. Let's continue along with what is moving around in the pre-market, guys. BlackBerry back to the upside again this morning. Another 8% here, guys. We talked about the patents that they sold to Huawei going back to last week. Apparently, they still have as much as 38,000 different patents in their library. This was only a very small chunk that they did sell to Huawei. Again, this goes way back to the days when they were making smartphones, which I learned this morning. The last one that came out was 2016, guys.
Yeah, exactly. They've been outsourcing ever since. They got a lot of patents still. So did Nortel. But anyways, Sean was just talking a little bit about BlackBerry and some of these other names here that are getting that day trade momentum and certainly are primed for the types of pushes that you saw. And I want to talk about Thursday at least in BlackBerry because realistically it was mostly profit taking on Friday in this name. It's interesting. What makes it interesting today is that you're still gapping up on this latest headline. I don't know if the patent story is really all that much of a driver except for the fact that it might cause some squeezing in BlackBerry. There was nice chop in this range, if you want to call it nice, at about this 1030 level, at least on the way down. It did try to hold that before eventually capitulating, in the last couple hours of the session. So it's not an insignificant 1030 area here. If it does get below that, I think it's worth a shot at the short in $10. Otherwise, it's probably momentum play on the breaks. I would watch out very carefully for this like 11.25 area. So any long, it's like sort of terminate in front, look for a bit of a turn here at 11.25 if it can turn. I think that was good resistance on Friday, so I would like to have a look at it again. Obviously, you can see the wick up to $12 as well if it gets any higher than that. Any longs I have in BlackBerry, I wouldn't hold very long. It's going to be it's a little bit different from AMC in that. And I want to quickly, if I can, BlackBerry sort of on that little upward charge, but AMC, Sean already showed you the weakness that it's been putting in. We're gapping up and holding above as opposed to that big sell-off we had on Friday in BlackBerry, and I just like the fact that it's actually again holding this like 275. So I'm seeing it hold support right now. As opposed to if BlackBerry was down around that 1030, giving you some of those buys in front of 10 off the open, fair enough, but it's not. So I'm looking to fade BlackBerry at 11.25 and then again at 12 if it gets to the upside.
Ooh, doggy. Yeah, we're doing some backflips right here, and I just posted on Twitter there. You don't see me average in much into trades, but this one we had to, man. 275, we're hella long right now, AMC, and if we can get a break of 85, then we'll hit our daily goal right there in the pre-market. So normally that doesn't happen, so congratulations if anyone was long AMC. I know you don't trade like us, a lot of people out there unable to get in and out and scalp this style, but hey, if you are able to, I averaged in there to the downside. This is just a 3-minute chart, so you could definitely check this out. And again, I posted up on Twitter that I'd be happy, see there's some nice buys, that I'd be happy getting 3 on this trade. So if we can get $3, we'll take it. We're averaging out a little bit here now on the upside. So starting our day off right. I don't need this to come back in. Let's just check quickly. Neil just mentioned BlackBerry. Obviously, it's on our list there. AMC number 1 on the imbalance locator. And here's BlackBerry. I wrote down 10 and 3 quarters. That's just this high. Oh no, actually that's 1060, the daily high here. We did have, I think it's probably this. No, that's still 1070. So yeah, 1070. I like that area there for a break on BlackBerry, and the very, very similar thing happening here that's happening to GameStop and all that, except for, like Neil mentioned, they actually had some news. They sold patents and whatnot, and BlackBerry's been basically left for dead for 10 years. So now that it's come back to life a little bit here, watch out for some profit taking. But I like BlackBerry taking out the highs here. I'm just so much more in love with AMC and GameStop, but BlackBerry cannot be ignored. We hammered it the last couple days, so it's been a good one.
All right, for those wondering, 24.3% on the short interest for AMC. So watch out to the upside. Let's go to space next. Virgin Galactic, guys, back on watch, back to the upside. Remember, going back to Wednesday of last week, we got the news that ARK Investment Management was creating that space travel focus ETF. That had the entire group moving higher on that day. We did come back in on Thursday, but there was another gap to the upside this morning for space, guys, on that news.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, it's whether or not you're going to call it the secondary push from the ETF, or maybe people are excited because their sister company had a successful satellite launch. Virgin Orbit had a successful launch over the weekend. Great for them. Not necessarily going to directly impact the stock here, but I think maybe it's playing a little bit into it, believe it or not. I'm watching immediately this 3150 level. If we ever get back here again, it's a very similar play. Like anytime I see a breakdown at a particular price, especially on like a Friday, and then you hold the afternoon top here, and then we try to hold above it, I'm always looking to see if there's any chance to catch a dip into it off of the open. So 3150 is going to stick out to me. I'm going to be buying a Virgin Galactic through there. We talked about this from that 25 to 2750 level, and anytime you get those levels like that where it's like your 25 clean 10% up to 2750, and you look at that little break, I always sort of pick out those obvious even round numbers. So if you want to take a 25% move from there, you're going to start talking about 34 even, believe it or not. So I'm going to have that one on the radar this week for a potential spot to short it. I don't want to necessarily be short, but I think the momentum could be taking us up to that 34 area. Looking for a dip by 3150 on Virgin Galactic all day long here. I don't like the breakout trade as much. I think we can be patient with this because there's no particular catalyst today that would have it necessarily, gapping and running off the open. So I'm looking at 3150 to defend.
And guys, it's hot dogs for everybody right here. We're going to throw to Brendan in a minute, but I just double-checked last week. Again, we tweeted it out that we bought GM, and I just double-checking the price here, my broker. 48.70, I'm long GM as of last week. A nice little move up, 8% here. Apparently, Brendan, you can have the news with us, but I'm I'm not selling this. This is in my longer term account, but yeah, 48.70 last week, a great buy. GM now up that 7.9%, 8%. We did it again, guys. We've got a lot of these stocks on, and we're making that money now. We're making the money on the show. I just double checked. We've had a perfect December, and here goes GM, guys. 54.10 to the high side there. Brendan, you got the news?
Sean, why don't you take that? I'm having all kinds of technical issues this morning. My icon platform is not currently loading, so why don't you take that?
Sure. It's Cruise and GM to team up with Microsoft to commercialize self-driving vehicles. So it looks like they're going to put it in the Cruise, and they're teaming up now with MSFT. So Microsoft to the high side right now. Or sorry, GM to the high side. Check in on Softy. Come on, my chart's not loading right now as well. Check in on I don't think anything yet. I was going to say probably nothing happening there. However, I do think this is a nice catalyst for Softy because I didn't even know that they were going to be into the self-driving area here. And now obviously they have the technology, but I didn't realize that they were ready to do this. GM's driverless car developer Cruise pulls in $2 billion investment from Microsoft, Brendan. So you'll get that when your system all gets going. But a $2 billion investment from Microsoft into GM. So hells to the boom. You know, we're long 48.70, and this has just been a great trade to the high side. I'm not getting out of anything. I just like the GM story. I think it's been underplayed a little bit. You guys know that we're into Ford as well. 650, 675, a nice little break on Ford today. This also going to go to the high side. I know this is GM news, and again, here goes my chart, not changing, but Ford breaking that 1020 today, looking possible as well. So GM near those highs. It's at its highest spot it's been at GM since they had the money come back and they had to deal with the government there back so long ago. Look at GM broke out. This is why I bought GM, guys. We broke out from this 47 straight to the upside. We're long in here somewhere 48, 48.50, 48.70 I just checked. So good little trade there to the upside. Congratulations to all, and congratulations if you're still in AMC, because AMC still moving to the high side. We just took some out 84s there.
All right, guys. Yeah, I apologize. My platform has completely crashed, so I'm going to get that as soon as I possibly can to you. Worth mentioning, guys, if this is self-driving, we should maybe have a look at some of the LiDAR companies once again. I did notice that Microvision was higher in the pre-market, so we'll touch on that coming up as well. Speaking of all things electric vehicle, green power, plug power back in positive territory this morning as well. JP Morgan initiating coverage end of last week with a neutral rating. Price target of 60 on this one. They did bring on a new general manager for one of their divisions as of today, guys, as well, for Plug.
Plug, this has been a volatile name here, and I just noticed, and thank you for someone pointing it out in the chat there, that NEO already made that dip. Usually the dip buy that we talk about is a strategy off 930 is an open trade. So I'm not going to have NEO right now. I wish I did. Obviously, it gave you a great little trade there. Plug power, a lot of charts look like this for these high-flying names. We had last week, early in the week or midweek, you made some highs, and then you pulled right back into previous support, and then we're essentially gapping up. So this is like, it must be a dozen charts that I looked at that were very, very similar to this. And just about each and every single one of them I thought was going to be a safer trade than Plug Power. But this pre-market top at 63.70 is going to look very similar to some of the other levels that we looked at on some other names. And it's just because you had previous bottoms on the high side of the week here. So on the big up days, whether it's 13th and 14th, you had that same 63.75 area is going to end up being where it bottomed out. You're going to have a nice little consolidation off of that level before failure on Friday, and now we're looking breakout at that exact same price. So there's no way that I'm going to have the exact same setup in multiple names here. So you pick your poison. I already have orders to go dip buy on space, along on a firm. I already have an AMC position, and I'm looking at Palantir. So it's difficult to add Plug to that, knowing that it's likely to make this break off at the open, but it's the same essential setup. Looking at 63, I'd say about 63.75 to 80 area, breaking through this chop, and then it probably takes you to those, call it those Thursday highs at around like 68. If we don't get the break, I would stay hands off until it dips down and gives you an idea of what's in store at that 58, 59 area. And Plug is just probably the most volatile of all of these names. It's likely to put in like anywhere from like a $5 to $10 range. Certainly, we've seen that come day in, day out on Plug. And I wouldn't step in front of the train. I'm not shorting Plug at all today, that's for sure.
I just posted up here on Twitter the headline here. It's GM's driverless car development. Cruise pulls in $2 billion investment from Softy. So I just, again, you can follow us on Twitter, but I just talked about here, I like this for Microsoft, get into the space. Oopsies. And obviously we like that for GM as well. So, I think it's going to be a good day there. Watch out. I don't know if it's included, if it's done anything here. Still watching, my only position is AMC. It's been a good one today. I was just watching $54 there. That's the level that I'd watch out for on GM. But this is not news that I want to trade right now. It's obviously, it's a big investment. $2 billion, it's a big investment, but it's not huge. I don't know if it should have gone up 7 or 8% there. So I do want to watch GM, but I did want to check out rate quickly about the imbalance locator just to see if GM, can you see that on the screen? Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. There it is. There it is. GM moving up. See 300,000 and getting bigger. So we'll see it join the ranks to the high side. Oh, one stock that we didn't really talk about too much is Uber. Wow, Uber. $56, a nice little move there coming off that bottom of 55.40. Watch out, 55 could hold there on Uber. Watch out for this break, 56.80 on Uber. Man, there's so much to look at today, Brendan.
All right, I am back. Good. Let's have a look, guys. Here's that headline. Wow, it's been one of those mornings. General Motors here, guys. We could throw my screen up there. Lucas, thank you. General Motors, 6.7% partnering with Microsoft. Just what Sean was saying. So big move there, yes. My volume alerts just going crazy here. So let's continue along with the watch list, guys. Bank of America reporting this morning. Yeah, not so great for Bank of America. Goldman Sachs, on the other hand. Why don't we have a look at both of these? One and the same here. Both earnings related, obviously. Bank of America, not so great, but Goldman crushing it this quarter.
Yeah, I mean, trading revenues, we talked about this, Goldman sort of being, I guess, the third leg of the strong names here. Morgan Stanley doesn't report until, I think, tomorrow. So BAC is the one I want to kind of pick on here because obviously there's a heck of a lot of weakness. Everyone was pulling funds back from the loan loss provisions, and BAC not different, but just not nearly as much as I think everyone anticipated. They also missed on revenue. That's why you're seeing it down 2%. And I love the idea when you have a bit of a bias in a couple of names. So you can, if you like the overall sector, you can look at JPM, Morgan Stanley, and in this particular case, Goldman Sachs. If you're looking for some weakness, maybe you're checking in on a bit of a BAC. I just got into another stock that just broke. So a Palantir just got me in here at 26.54 here. It looks like that 50 break happened. So another name that we're going to be long in. A BAC off of 32. I think that's going to be an important level. Looking at the short through a 32 even on BAC, this is the one that I would sort of be playing against if we get the opportunity. It has already broken here in the pre-market once, so do watch out. You would be selling low and then hoping to buy back even lower in this particular case because we just came off $1.50. But the 32 level is going to be the big one for me on BAC.
Yeah, so I'm into this as well here, and this is Palantir.
Excellent.
One problem is I can't feel my hands again here today, but we are executing trades, so all good on that one. Yeah, I did like it 26.50. I did have it written and circled on here on the top left there. You can see Palantir with a couple stars, 26.50. It's this level here that looks like we're going to try to break out. I'm still waiting to see what it does at 27, so let's wait to see on Palantir. Again, that new deal with PC&G there coming through. So I like Palantir. And as far as the banks are concerned, look, I wrote down a break of 32 maybe on BAC, and that looks like that's coming, but I don't know. Let me go back down to let's just go down to a 3-minute chart here. So this is a 1-minute look. What time is it? 22. We're getting close, guys. Yeah, okay, it doesn't give us much. But a little drop there off the JP Morgan earnings. They are much more a money center bank like a JPM. So negative kind of for JP, negative for BAC. It's pulled off a little bit here. There goes Palantir, a nice rate already, a 5-cent win on that name. And someone said, well, I got to increase my daily goal if I've already hit it. I know, but what am I going to do? 30.50, there's 32. So this is that dropping spot right there, 32, 32.15. Coming, and we're right there right now. So watch out for a 32 break. I'll test it a little bit there, but right now the only two positions you could see on the board at the downside there is AMC in the money 7 pennies, and then Palantir in the money a dime, and going higher. We're long at 54. This name won't stop.
All right, guys, a few minutes to go here. Let's talk about Churchill Capital. If you're just joining us, a lot of people still coming in. Welcome if you're joining us for the first time. Let's talk Churchill Capital. We mentioned it earlier. This is the potential Lucid Motors deal coming through, or was rumored to be coming through either today or tomorrow. The company did come out, Churchill Capital, that is. Remember, this is a SPAC. So they did come out and say that they will not comment on any potential merger partners that they are speaking to. This thing went absolutely crazy over the last week and a half on rumors that it could be Lucid that they are going to team up with. Remember, this is potentially a $16 billion deal.
Yeah, it's a doozy, and it's a big one. We did talk about this. When it started to make this run to the downside, when that no comment came through. I think 16 is that sort of area that you want to be patient for and wait for the pullback on Churchill. Again, I don't think standing in front of the falling sword makes a heck of a lot of sense at these levels. When we saw what happened last week, whenever it would pull back, it was right into this 16 range, and it was very, very heavy selling into it each time. I would anticipate probably the same thing here, because a lot of people that were buying this, at least in the afternoon of Friday, certainly were likely expecting, and there was some chatter that there would be a more positive announcement coming. At least the deal announcement coming maybe today or certainly this week. So that will cause some selling, I think, off of the open here. But I'll be watching it down at 16, if and only if it gets there. Playing the middle of the range here has not been the most profitable strategy. You look at these breaks, especially off of the open, and it's sold off at the open 2 sessions in a row. If it does the same thing again here today, you're looking at 16 as the first possible support on Churchill.
All right, and we're just taking off some profits here, just to let you guys know. We took off a couple pieces there on Palantir. We took off 40%, in at 50, out at 70, out at 74. So taking out some profits here on Palantir, as it looks like it wants to run through 27. It's going to be a good morning here as we go. Only 4 minutes to go, Brendo.
All right, guys, we'll go over to GameStop. You want to run over, Sean, GameStop one more time here? Big move, obviously, over the past couple of weeks on the Ryan Cohen news. This thing, 102% still on the short side for GME. I
was just laughing because I saw someone here, Thomas. GME gave me $80 for my broken Xbox One. I'm short long term. So, okay, yeah, sorry about that if that wasn't the right value on them, guys. But yeah, look at this, 42, 42.50. We're breaking higher right now, up that 17%. I'm gonna test it, not taste it, through 43 here. If it breaks, I mean, that's, again, the squeeze. We'll see. I mean, the squeeze is on right now. And I just wonder if this is a little bit of profit taking here in GameStop. So, I mean, on a daily chart, we're already up here. We've sort of talked about that a little bit, Brendan. We topped out at 43. That was just 2 days ago, before topping out the other day at 41.50. So I like a 43 break here on GameStop. I don't really want to build along. I just want to see how it trades. But if it does take out the top, I think it's foolish for us not to take that long through GameStop just to see what it does and see if it does go up to that 50 level. So we're going to watch out for GameStop. But I am noticing right now that the NASDAQ coming down here. S&P not really doing too much. Look at the NASDAQ on a little bit of a pullback, making me wonder about AMC. But 265 is still going to be that out spot on AMC, guys.
Yeah, I'm looking at the same thing. It's at 65 support in AMC, definitely worth a watch. There's some small caps to get to. I know you want to talk about one, Brendan. I have another one, which I think some guys are looking at.
Yeah, TRXC, guys, from last week, if you remember, there's actually another news story on this. This thing's been on a tear over the past couple of weeks, in fact. They got EU approval for a medical surgical device, so European Union giving them thumbs up on that. TRXC was up significantly. Just looking at 280, and then 3 was the top. For TRXC. This thing was a penny stock 2 weeks ago, guys.
Speaking of penny stocks, a couple weeks ago, ZOM was a penny stock just a few sessions ago. They got listing requirements. That was last week's news. Now they apparently have enough cash on hand to survive till 2023. It does seem like they're getting a bit of a gap up. I've been in and out a couple times here, just some scalp trades. But 150 was a monster turnaround level if you want to go back into last week, and this was at the beginning of the week at least. I now have a couple of levels I'm watching. This 127 pre-market high does correspond with a bit of a turnaround, and then when we came in on I guess it would have been like Wednesday, into the end of the week. It was very, very weak, and that 127 was the top on Wednesday. So I'm watching that level. That's going to be the first line of defense for me. If we can break down below this sort of 115 area, that was a good one before. I'll revisit that one again. So I'm looking at 127 and 115 as the two short spots for me in ZOM. If we break the high, 150 was an unbelievable test up there. So I do expect we get up there. I might see a big size order that I can work off of to the south side. AMC's leveling off a little bit here, guys, but I want to show you SENS. This one is another play from last week. It's actually down 2.5% here. I just want to, if I can, show you the 15-minute chart. Anytime you get like the second day, a bit of a gap up, and then it pulls right back at the close. You have a 150 to 155 bottom here, both in the afternoon and the morning, and then pre-market highs were around that level. So I have a sort of stop, and I'm not using a stop order because there's so much liquidity right around this level. It's trying to break out right now. If we can hold this into the open, I'm very, very likely to have this one all day long. If it does break a couple cents higher than this 155, I will have to take it off and then look for a retracement off the same price area. So Sen's looking to play off of this current weakness, although it is breaking to the upside. So I might have the first loser of the week on.
So guys, a couple good trades, or not good trades, but hopefully good trades coming through. We'll wait for Uber to get to 57.50 or so on a nice little upgrade there. Uber price target raised by UBS, so 57.50 or so. I'd like to see it get to that before we do anything. And then Palantir's coming back. We have BlackBerry. Looks like we'll get into that soon. Oh, did we just get into it? No. So there we go again. Like the stop orders are not breaking in the pre-market, so we have to find out about that. But BlackBerry, I don't know why that didn't break. So BlackBerry moving to the upside. We want to get long right now on this name, guys. Stop orders just not working. And then GameStop and NEO still looking to go too.
And we're about to ring that bell. Lots on the move too. We talked about Plug Power as well, but Randy is on the bell. He is in the building on this Tuesday. He's got 2, 3, 2, and 1. He's going to do something crazy about it. So almost immediately, Palantir's getting to, and I want to quickly show you guys here, Palantir's getting to this 27 level. I just got some in front of it at 89. Now I'm looking to see if it does give you that dip back into 26.50. AMC holding that 275. So has it opened up?
Yeah, I think so. Isn't there some end prints there?
Oh, no, you're right. You're right. My apologies. You are right. It opened.
Yeah, AMC opened up there. So it's coming back down on a 3-minute chart. We got to switch to a 1-minute chart. Looks like it's going to take out this 80 right now. And there it goes. We're going to go long through the day's high of 80, 87 or so. Break on that one. We do have BlackBerry long. I had to put that in manually as we like to 1075. So that's what we have, 1075. So hard to complain about that one. We averaging into Palantir on the downside. Like to get some 26 and change if we can. And then watch out below on Palantir. Let's see what happens. But there goes the ES and the NASDAQ
dip
now.
Was absolutely perfect. Going to do a backflip on Virgin Galactic here. We talked about 31.50. Had the order in 31.65 to go long, immediately out for like a 60-cent winner. So sometimes the dip works, and AMC actually just broke the high here, Sean. So I got a few more shares there at 80. It broke the high and then snapped right back into that 75 range. I was able to get some shares out in the 90s, but not a heck of a lot. So a lot of whippy action. I want to hold this Virgin Galactic if I can to retest the top here. 32.50 area will be the next out for me.
Like, I have no idea what's happened there because none of the stop orders are working, so you got to watch out for that. Watch out for Uber going through as well. BlackBerry, Palantir, we did take another long down there at 50, so a nice little average in there, making us happy. We'll see if we get up to 26.75 now. But yeah, we're averaged in here to AMC, guys. What's up, Brendo?
The CCIV, guys, heads up right back to the downside. There was initial buying there through 18, but big seller stepped up through to 17.75 on Churchill Capital.
Oh, I've seen this party before on Ascends here. It does the break. I go manual on it instead of just having a stop order because I didn't trust the stops. And then, of course, it snaps right back down. So a bit of a fail breakdown. Currently staring this in the face. 500,000 shares on the bid here. So as much as I would normally love to be shorting this move, I'll wait for 150 to break that size or a bounce back up into the 55.60 on Sens. AMC just broke that 65, but it held 60.
It's going to get hammered here.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's about to get hammered, but it did hold that 60, which was actually the low of this move here. And I'm kind of looking at it here. There was a 260 area. I was able, like I said, to get some shares out at 90, but then it broke the bottom. I might take another shot off this 260 level, which is the actual pre-market bottom.
Okay, yeah, good look there. We're going to take off some BlackBerry, so that's a nice little win there. We'll hit the yeehaw for that one up to 1075 right now. That's a good long. Yes, BlackBerry, go. We take that long. Boom! A nice little win right there. We set them up. Hot dogs go flying from BlackBerry right now. Wish we would have averaged in even more down here, 1060, but a good little trade. We do see some size there. We've noticed size before and had to get out of the way. So BlackBerry right now making moves to the high side. That's been a good trade for us. Palantir still fading out. And then, yeah, like Neil mentioned there, we'll wait to see see what AMC does at that bottom of 260. We're averaged into this one. When it breaks, we're going to be gone, but we're just trying it here on AMC. Let's see what happens, guys.
Yeah, and ZOM is at that 115 level that I liked. It did make a bit of a break, but then immediately snapped back. So the bid does support this 115 at least for now. I'll play off the 125 if I get a chance. If AMC goes to 260, maybe the squeeze isn't going to be on today. But BlackBerry is definitely the runner. Brendan, what's up?
Just checking on Tilray, guys. They were a big mover last week. The cannabis group, that is. Look at this for Tilray. 3 or 4 or 5 days in a row. Look at this big selling, though, coming in for some of the cannabis names.
Yeah, it's smoking, right? Is that what we're gonna say again? Yeah, all these stocks moving around like crazy right now. So Tilray, just another one of those names. Unfortunately, AMC is just like teetering on the brink of disaster right now, trying to break that 260 but holding. So just watch out, man. It is gonna break it. I would think at this point it's come down here just a couple times, so we do have to watch out for that one. There goes Palantir as well. We did a nice average in. So now our average price, you could see we actually put on real shares down here, 26.31. What up, B?
It seems like when you least expect it, Roku breaks out, guys. 5.5% here for Roku today. JP Morgan with an upgrade on this one.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, Roku, when we're not paying attention to that stock, it gives you the
Go
big runner.
Palantir.
I don't even get any shares of ZOM there on that downside trade. Oh, no, I actually just got some at 116, so new position alert there. Lordstown was up on the session. I was going to talk about this one a little bit if it tried to break through 25. Look at this 25 level off the open. It just slammed down almost a full $1. So file that one away in the back of your mind here because it looks like a key level on ride. 24.99 the high, and it just pulled back hard.
Yeah, it looks like AMC, oh, my chart's not working. AMC breaks, so we get out there. Now I'm looking at getting back in if it does break a little bit higher. Again, we had too many shares there, so we had to get out. But look at Palantir, guys. Like a fiddle there. Hot dogs, going everywhere right now. 63, 64, 65, 69. Look at the average price here. 40 cents in the money now. 25 cents in the money on BlackBerry. A beautiful trade here for Palantir. Hell yeah. Bang. We talked about getting those prices down near 26. We picked that up. What a great average in. But yeah, it's not a good trade unless you get some out. So we'll take some out on the high side here if we can. Good trade here. I'm starting to be able to feel the tips of my fingers, but still not great.
I'm not noticing any difference in terms of how cold it is in here, Sean, but I'm glad you are. Still working in this bounce trade on the Virgin Galactic. Obviously, this is going to be the best out. All in a 1-minute chart, guys. It dipped down to 31.60 and then slammed back to the upside. We're now right back at these prices. I'm going to use a 31. I'm going to tighten the stop up here and just go with a 31.50 stop, not even give it too much room. I feel like if it breaks that, we can get some serious dip buys that are going to be some fantastic prices here. So I don't want to turn a winning trade into a losing trade. I'm going to go ahead and trust that our stop orders will be okay and ensure that this is a profitable trade in Virgin Galactic. I still have my Palantir, but I wanted to go over to, we talked about Peloton. It just tested that 150 area. I was a little bit obviously busy with some other names as it broke down. Looks like it didn't go too far, just about $1 further through that 150 area, but Peloton did come in through that price, so I wanted to mention it to you guys. Sean, I don't know if did you get BlackBerry?
Yeah, oh yeah, I've had BlackBerry. I'm long right now. Yes, I'm long 10.75 on BlackBerry. Thanks, Neil, for bringing that up to 11.11 right now. So we're huge today, but we did have one mistake with AMC. We'll look to get back into that one. Up, Bren.
One we've looked at many times, guys. Gevo moving. In fact, 52-week highs for Gevo. Nobel Prize winner and co-founder Francis Arnold being named to President-elect Joe Biden's science team. So Gevo here, guys. 52-week highs.
Science,
It's interesting to me that's the news. That's the news. Okay, well, whatever. GameStop making another push to that 43 level. Pre-market highs, of course. Potential squeeze and breakout through there. I've been sort of hunting for some short trades, and I went both directions on Friday to some success. But today, I'm looking to see if it can actually be the pullback after this flush, and this is what you want to see. Sell off at 7 o'clock when the volume first came in, sell off at the open, and now trying to push back up to that 43. I'm going to short in front of 42, but it's going to be a hard stop in front of 42 on GameStop if I can get it. As a matter of fact, it looks like it's not even going to get anywhere close to it. Watch out for AMC as it just bounced once again off that 260 area, Brendan.
I want to show you this headline before we show you Goldman Sachs, guys. Their CEO on the call talking about uncertainty still to get through when it comes to the virus resurgence and the pandemic in general. So Little bit weak here, guys. We talked about blowout earnings for Goldman to the downside so far for GS.
Okay, so watch out here. We take some more shares on Palantir. And look at this win it's been, guys. We're spinning the money around because it's just one of those days. As Palantir just rips to the high side right now. Don't be greedy, though. We got to get some out here. Up to 15, up to 12, up to 11. We've been running Palantir, and thank God it saved us. Look at this go, man. We're long $1 ago on Palantir. Just up, 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 up. Like in here. This is why we don't lose. In here, in here, in here. Bang to the upside. So making back some of our AMC money on Palantir, actually a decent amount of it. But we did go long again through 70. Thought that was going to break. It did. So up to 74. We did have 4 pennies, but now it's coming right back down again. So we got to watch out. I think I'll probably hold this one just a little bit through 257. Just checking in on the options right now. 20% in the money for the options. So it needs a little bit more than that for me to get out. But we are long right now. 271 here on AMC, guys.
Yeah, it's a Zoom, not Zom, guys. So we'll go with Superman action on this. I did scalp a couple times for like spread and pennies in the pre-market, but this trade off that 115 area, that was lovely. We talked about 127 was the other. If it heads down to $1, always cover in front of $1. That's what I'm gonna do here. So the first out was at 108. I'll get some more in front of 5, and then probably like 2s and 3s. If it pulls back in, I'm looking for that same 115 to reload that short. I should have reloaded on Virgin Galactic. I did not. It looks like it's trying to gear up to go again. I'll definitely take some shares off on the north side of 32 like we did before. This dip buy has been a profitable one, but it seems to be running out of steam just a little bit. No particular catalyst here, just going off of last week's a bump to the upside and some continuation on this Monday, or Tuesday, I should say.
Okay, I'm still looking for AMC here. I'm looking for some levels as we watch Palantir. I have 2670, 2680, set down for Palantir as we just keep ripping to the high side. So all good on that front. So no need to worry. I'm just going to put a stop order in here on AMC. But look at Palantir, guys. Beautiful trading. Long from here, long through 27, and it just keeps on marching. Let's get a little bit more out as we throw back to B.
NNDM, guys, Nano Dimension just popping up here through 11 on a monster volume spike. Apparently, the company CEO going to appear on Bloomberg later on today for an interview, guys.
Definitely a good look on Nano Dimension. I want to get to that TRXC if I can. Flush off the open. It just broke through this 265. Probably too many names to be trying to catch every single one of them. But I love the consolidation right beneath that level. Sort of gives you a quick little shot at that 65. If it does make a bit of a test, which it looks like it is here, if we roll over at 65, we'll try to get 63, 64 to the short side on TRXC. So going to put my order in, locked and loaded to go. It'll be a relatively tight stop on that trade. I do want to check back in on that Peloton. There was a tiny bit of consolidation off that 150, but it looks like that level still good for a short. Of course, I'm trying not to overtrade. I do have 4 or 5 positions already. If we go any further, watch out for this 140 level. We talk about these previous highs then being dip prices, so it will support once. It was also big time resistance back in October. 140 sticks out like a sore thumb if Peloton goes any further.
Okay, so that's 140. That was my level there on Peloton. So I'll probably be dumping some of those after market. And I want to get into Facebook. I really think Facebook is the stock to get into right now. Again, see, I can't feel my fingers. I'm hitting J's instead of N's. What's up, Rendo?
I see 24 in here, but it certainly doesn't feel like that today. GM, guys, again, all-time highs here. Just tagged 54 there. Very, very strong for GM.
Good. I love GM there. Good position there. I'm long that 48.70 like we talked about. Here's Facebook making a move downside there today after I thought it was getting some wings behind it. So watch out for Facebook to go. And then we still have AMC. Look, we're very, very light now on Palantir. We're back to 5%. I'm using this 2680 as our out. Like, you guys know that I'm going to take this out. This just moves up straight $1. We get it out, right? This is part of it. And we talked about that with Kevin there on Friday. And it's just about being disciplined. Take 10 cents out of every dollar you make and put it into something that makes some sense for you longer term. So that's basically how I day trade. I mean, as soon as we start ripping up and we get those profits, we just scalp them out, right? Because we have no idea what's happening to these names. Okay, AMC, I see you, buddy. Here we go. So we're back long 71. Let's see if we can't get back. My orders are out to get out some in the 80s here if we're lucky enough to do that. But AMC, let's see if we get a little runner here after just messing it up off the open and taking out at the very day's low. Let's see if we get some money back right now on AMC. It's been a big day, guys. guys.
Yeah, this OBSV, I don't know if we mentioned this one, maybe Brendan didn't. I don't think we got to it. A bit of a gap play to the upside. It had this level going into the open at 485, 1-2 times it held, and then we get a failed break through the high of the day. You know I love those failed breaks. The second we retrace, you can either have it at consolidation at 5, which I miss, but then I look for that breakdown trade right here at 485. I just got the shares now at 84. 185 broke, so not too bad in terms of liquidity on this particular name. Next level will be this 470. That's the pre-market low. If we get past there, it was a $4 stock on Friday. If we can make halfway through the retracement on that move, I think that's a pretty solid target there. So 471 to 475 will be the first target out for me. Trying to take that 10-cent scalp if we can. I still have that Virgin Galactic. It is consolidating here off this 32 level and showing some signs that I should definitely be taking another leg off. It'll allow me to either, if it gets down to 31.50 and there's a nice little bid, I can reload. There's also the potential of a 32 break, which I could just take to get back in. So I kind of favor this approach. I don't know why, just...
Go, GME. I hear you, Gregory. Let's go, GME. Let's go. We got this one. Bang! A nice little 60-cent win right there. Let's go. We told you guys 43. We wanted this. So here it comes right back to the upside. Oh, I forget all about AMC all of a sudden. 43.75 right to the upside now. Good little move here on GME. We've got it. Good trade. Out a little bit there at 65. Let's see how high it wants to go. That may have been the move right there to the upside. But hey, look, if you're not trading this one, like Neil said, then you got to be looking at some of these names, guys. Just be very, very careful what your plan of action is. We've got them. I'm long. We're YOLOing this one, guys, up to 43, 44. Take off another piece right now. Let's take that dollar win on GameStop. $1. How about $2? Let's go. I hear you, Gregory. Let's go.
Gregory, our floor manager back there, of course, he's one of the only people on this floor, guys. But it is looking like it would pull back to 43.50, and now is trying to battle here at 44. There is an actual bid that was that's kind of trying to follow it up here, guys. So there's some serious liquidity on that GameStop as it continues to run. Watch out, 45 coming very, very fast. I did reload, of course, in that ZOM. We'll get to it in a second. And AMC tried to make a sympathy move and failed at 275. So strength in GameStop on the squeeze side. AMC maybe not so much. I'm going to test that 75 the other direction, and people might bail on AMC to move into GameStop.
Man, are we having fun yet? Yeah, we're in both of these, guys. AMC, a nice little win here. Upside, we're long at 70. That's our 71. That's been a good one. And here goes GameStop. $1 plus in the money. We just took it out there at 44. We are actually waiting upside and near that 45. So let's just wait to see, man. I mean, this thing is already going, and we have shares on. So we're out of 10, 20%, out of another 20%. We'll get out of another 20% if this can go to 45. I don't really have a spot upside on this one. Maybe you do, Brendan, but GameStop right now going off. What's up?
Forever to the upside. How about that? Visalink, guys. We mentioned some of the LiDAR companies. There is a portion of this company that does work on LiDARs. So 13.5% here for Visalink. You can have a look at MVIS as well. Not so much. It did try and test 7 there in the pre-market right before the open, but back down.
All right, everyone going crazy there. We just take another piece off right now. This is how you trade, guys. Like, this is what you got to do. You wait for the right time to get in. And we waited, man. We gave you that 43. If you look at GameStop earlier, this is what we're doing, man. 43 is right there. I was looking for the daily chart. Here's 43 again on the daily chart. So, yeah, a nice little win here. Just took it off. Now we hold that 40%. I mean, it's been a fun day, needless to say, but there goes GameStop, and we have it, guys.
Yeah, there goes GameStop. I did try to get AMC on the turn. It did fail at that 275. So like I said, maybe some people rolling out of GameStop, out of AMC, one squeeze into another. Virgin ran at exactly the same time here. I don't know why, but there was a volume spike. I'm just going to take that opportunity to get out. I just took some more out in front of that 32.30 area. So same thing off of the open. If we're going to get out the exact same price both times, I think we're this time now going to get back in at 31.65 or maybe even 70 if we have to. 31.50 is where my stop is. So willing to now reload that we've taken another leg on in Virgin Galactic. Again, no particular catalyst, just using last week's catalyst of course, the ARC SPAC, I guess the space SPAC that's going to be coming through.
Yeah, let's just
Not
see.
SPAC, sorry, ETF.
ETF, yeah. Let's just see where this goes now because I don't know, 45. I mean, if we can hit 50, that'd be fantastic. Obviously, I don't know if that happens anytime soon, but we are going to wait for that on GameStop, and we've already banked a lot of profit on this name, and that's how we trade, right? You got to make sure that you're in and out of some of these names and doing things properly. Do not hold on forever. That's why we got out of some BlackBerry. A nice little in on BlackBerry there. Again, we're holding that 20% left on BB. It's bouncing around VWAP there. That's why we did want to talk about that. So that's basically what's in store for me. We're still waiting for NIO to go. I don't know how many people we have watching. I'm going to try to see what we have as far as the likes are concerned. 11.2 right now and only 2,000 likes. Let's get that ramped up. I'm not going to do a big like parade right now, but we do the show for free and we have all winners. I mean, the only stinger today, guys, is that AMC. So I know that sucks, but we're going to wait for NEO now coming back to the downside. None of our longs triggered. I was waiting for 60 on this one.
Yeah, I mean, the tricky thing about Neil's wanted to dip by, but this doesn't happen off of the open. This happens in the pre-market. So we did like some of these levels. It just doesn't matter. If it doesn't come to your setup, you don't take the trade. And it's starting to come back in now. If it can hold 57.50, I'm looking for any kind of consolidation or catch a bid, and I'm going to go long in front of that 57.50 on Neo in front of this dip. But I'm going to have definitely a hard stop. Brendo?
Another move up here for Nikola, guys. We had a couple of days to the upside last week. Actually broke 22.5. Was trying to see that high from last week, but here we go again, 4.5%. No individual news on Nikola that I can see, but very strong.
Okay, well, as a bag holder, Nikola, I'm happy. I think my average price is around 24, 25. I'm just going to check back to see where that is. Yeah, so still 20, 21. So, yeah, not a great move, or a great move, but not a great stock here, Nikola. We can look to see, I mean, on the daily chart, we are above that 50 period, which is really, really spicy. I like that one. We did buy some more shares. I guess it was somewhere around here, 19 or 18. Like I said, our average price 24 off of some of these buys back in the day, 30, 34. So we're average into Nikola. I do like that one for a move. Just to check back in some of the names that are moving for us here. AMC continues to go up to 75. I'm still waiting at 77 to get a little more out if we can. But that stock moving around for us and doing quite well, guys.
Yeah, version didn't quite get to my reload price, which is kind of frustrating. Observe just hit the first target, that 471 area. So I did get shares out in front, like I said I would. If it comes back and retests this 85, I'll probably play this range at least all the way up to $5, which happens to be VWAP. It doesn't really matter that it's VWAP, but it is. I still do have a little bit of Palantir here. It's trying to bounce off of same thing, VWAP 2680 or so. There was a profit-taking part there. It rolled over in front of 2730. Just to give you a quick look, there was this failed break, and we talked about these two breakouts, failed breakouts here on Palantir last week. The 27.30 was certainly one of them, the 27 quarters. That's why I did take a leg out there, and that's why I ended up potentially being at least a temporary top. If we bounce off VWAP, I want to see if I can get more long in front of 26.75 and then sort of ride the train on every single dip.
Okay, and yeah, right now GameStop falling back in a little bit here. We do have our target 41.50. We're gonna get out, so that's right. Just let it test VWAP here, guys, and then see what we can do to the downside. So 41.50, I'm liking that here on a VWAP break for whatever the stock is, GameStop, guys. What's up, Wiggins?
There was a double downgrade, a double cut for Rocket today, guys, but yeah, it doesn't matter. Right back to the upside. It held 19.5 there at the open, so volume coming into Rocket.
Yeah, Gevo, which Brendan, of course, I mentioned to you guys, getting the tweet. I don't know, whatever. That's the only catalyst here for Gevo. 44% is a heck of a lot. This 933 double top forming. I'm going to go both directions in this one. I'm going to play the short in front of it as a first look, but I'm going to try to reverse into the long. Off the 35, I don't like 33 or like 31. I'll just play 35, round it a little bit here, and use that as my sort of high of day breakout type area on Gevo. It is a bit of a double top. It's already broken the pre-market high, so this is sort of a secondary break. That does mean I'm not going to love it as much as if this had happened, you know, right at like 9 or 9:30 or so. Not 9 even, sorry, or that 9:30 time frame. But I'm still going to reverse into the long trend. I just got some at 25 through the shorts. Going to get my stop locked and loaded and ready to go. I do have to quickly, if I can, come back to MaxR. We talked a little bit about Virgin Galactic's catalyst with the ETF. MaxR, another name that is anticipated to be in that space ETF. It's up 7%. It's testing the top. This is one that I kind of want, based on the liquidity and the volume of this move, I almost want to be fading it if I get a chance, but I'm not going to do that as long as I'm long in space. And as long as space is holding up, I'm going to back off in terms of fading MaxR. Brennan?
I just saw this one, guys. 10-cent music, big move here. 14%, in fact, just broke 25 on a huge volume spike. They announced a couple of acquisitions, one in the audiobook space and then another one in the continued online media space, and then also got a Citigroup upgrade today. So 10-cent music, big move here, 15%.
Yeah.
Okay, 10-cent music. Yeah, look at GameStop, guys. Here we go again. A nice little resistance off that VWAP. So not to say that these stocks are going to be like following VWAP till their death or anything, because they do move like crazy, but a nice little bounce off of 42.50, which is basically VWAP. Nice move to the backside now. So now we watch out for 45 and see what happens up there. So we still have GameStop. Our BlackBerry, we're out. Big time win on BlackBerry today. So we're going to hit the explosion on that one. Long at 10.75. Out, beautifully done there. And then right now, guys, AMC is just like, I've taken some off here at 74, but it's not moving. So I don't know. I don't know what I want to do here with AMC. There's a big Edge X there. I guess that's why it's not breaking through 75. So hopefully some of you Wall Street bettors can get going on those call options and we'll take some of those out. So we'll wait to see on that one. But GameStop is the big one for me. And then I am waiting for AMC to go. And then Palantir, I'm holding 5% of it. So ho-hum on Palantir. We've already crushed that one. My number one stock today is Palantir, guys.
Just got that break, of course. I went quick short and then quick long on Gevo. I just mentioned it got to 950. The average price ends up being like 40 on the actual break because I had to double dip there when one of my stops didn't fill. But I just got some for a quick little scalp. We'll take this one hopefully all the way to a $10 move. Brendan, what's up?
To look at here, guys. Netflix moving today. We're in the heart of earnings season. This one coming up at the close this afternoon. So Netflix set to report at 4 o'clock. Greg likes that. Back to the downside here. 3.5 times relative volume on Netflix today.
Yeah, let's go. Take out those stop orders, bud. Yeah, there we go. Gregory excited. I'm excited right now. This is a nice little $3 winner, so hit the cowbell. Look, we told you about GameStop early, guys. It's on my sheet. We talked about this early. We love that break of 43, and so hell yeah, we should have just reloaded up there. But it goes up to 45.50. Like I said, the profit's already in. This will not be a loser. If we break back down to 42.50, we're going to get out now. Let's let this thing just continue to ride to the high side. GameStop making us some cash over here. You got to trade these names, guys, but just trade them with caution. We don't know how high this is going to go up. It doesn't look like it's going to halt. I don't think it halted at all last week. And if it did, it was much after the fact. So I don't see too much risk in this, but just make sure you do take out some profits here. I think I may take out a piece at 45.50 if it gets back up there.
Yeah, I mean, I just took a 45 break, got in and out very, very quickly as it stalled at a 45.50. So, I mean, I'm not going to hold longs in GameStop. If I can catch those breaks and their size and the offer, which there was at 45, go ahead and do it. I think it's a fantastic long because you had it at that base and support is at that VWAP. I'm not using VWAP at all here on Gevo. It just got up to like the 970 here, or 969 technically. I'm going to take some more shares out, and then $10 will be the next stop. If it does come back, I'll be more concerned with 9 even than I will with wherever VWAP happens to be. But Gevo, another runner here, 51%. Kind of crazy it's up that much. I want to update you if I can on ZOM. I still have this position. I did reload. We did get first in at 116, got some at 108 on the way to $1. It's now holding right around that same 115, 116 price. So safely back into some shares of that. Palantir's still trying to go here, Sean, but it's really at that 27 mark and can't seem to go too much further for the time being.
Yeah, I'm not really in love with Palantir. Like I said, this is a very, very light spot for me. Looking 26.50 might give us that reload if we can get back down here. That's sort of where we're at. Like I said, 26.80 is where I'm dropping this off. I don't know if we get another push. Obviously, a lot of the pushes happen early in Palantir. We've talked about that. You can see from Friday as well. I mean, that was a move in the afternoon, but you can see here a nice little push, and then it kind of got choppy heading into the close of the show down here. So I don't know. I'm not super excited about Palantir here, but I'll hold the long and see what we can do. What's up, Bren?
Crazy mover of the day. Claris Therapeutics, guys, getting positive results here for a rheumatoid arthritis treatment. So ACRS, we've looked at this one before. Yeah, 165%. Huge move. Just took out day highs there.
Yeah, gonna have to add that to the list, but just a big bid on Gevo at 980. Turnaround at 992. I just took my shares out when I saw that bid. 50,000 shares get taken out, so I'm now out of Gevo. I'm gonna look to see if there's a chance at 9 even if it reloads. It looks like 10 just might have been the turn there, but I'm definitely gonna be adding that ACRS to the list, Brendo.
Okay, yeah, Gevo, yeah, good look there. I got to go over some of those stocks as well. It's funny that we just talked about Palantir, so let's take a little bit off now as it does head to the high side here. So a good trade so far on Palantir. Let's just look to get out. Did I just get those? No, I did not. Where did I put it at? 13s. Okay, there we go. So we just get the 13s there on a break higher. So good trade there on Palantir. And again, I was just holding it to there. So it's a small spot, but here it goes now, breaking the highs. Look at the NASDAQ coming to the downside and Palantir just crushing highs. Good. There it is. I'm glad we just started talking about this. Palantir taking off. I gave a price target here of $30 a couple weeks ago when it was like 22, 23. Nice to see it finally moving, trying to get out of the range, and this is what we're talking about here. Palantir just stuck right now. This is when we put the price target back as it resisted that 50 period, back to the high side now. But again, guys, we still got to break above. Like, we got to get through this. I know that's obvious. Like, we got to get through 29 to get to 30. But the point is that, you know, it needs to break. It needs to break that one more level. We came down here and we resisted that level. So now upside. Let's see how far we can go on that. And there it is, 27.40. We'll hit the air horn, guys. Follow us on Twitter. I've been talking about Palantir for a hell of a long time. We tweeted it out early, and it's been a big one, guys. Palantir to the moon. Let's go.
And wow, yeah,
Wow.
Actually, that's really, really nice. You probably should have found a better way to get back into some shares there, but a few of these smaller caps, when Gevo, one of them, sort of took my attention away. Gevo, I thought I had gotten out just in time at 980, and we're right back to the same price, looking for a $10 test as we speak. I just want to make sure there isn't like a freight train standing at 10. I haven't seen a gigantic size, maybe like 150,000 shares there. I'm going to look for, as always, it's a $10 range. I thought there'd be a turn here. I'm probably going to have a little bit of a short, but it's going to have to be like 97, 98, 99. I want to make sure I have a really good price on that 10 break. Not as much size as I might have anticipated, only like 100,000 shares or so sitting on that offer right now.
Okay, so we did get out of our GameStop at that 42.50 break there, so we did talk about that. It goes all the way down to 41, but we don't have that. So right now, I got out of everything. I literally have that 5% left on that one. That was a big out. We didn't let it break. So 20%, 40%, 60%, and then we took out our last 15% there, holding 5% to the downside. If it breaks 39.50, we're going to get out because we're not going to turn a winner into a loser. We tried, man. We tried to get GameStop to go. Was a big win, and we said not to hold on. I hope you guys didn't for too long. But right now, it's at the big board over there with Brendan happening now. It's 10 o'clock.
Hey guys, yeah, just like that, 10 o'clock. Let's have a look at North American markets. Nicely higher still for U.S. markets. You can see the S&P 0.5%, the Dow about 0.4%. It is the NASDAQ. Tech stocks leading the way once again. You can see 0.7%. Basically for both the 100 and the composite. The Russell 1.25% to the upside, nearing that all-time high territory once again for small caps. The TSX here in Toronto slightly negative on the session. Same story down in Brazil. They're pushing 1% to the downside if you're joining us watching the BOVESPA this morning. Couple things from the watch list, guys. Space, yeah, weak so far. We tagged that 32.75. Pushing on day lows right now, 31.5 for space. Decent volume, not huge volume, but decent volume for space. We talked about this one as well. Plug Power on the watch list went from 63.5 down to 62. We're approaching 65. It hasn't been very volatile, but just grinding to the upside for Plug, guys. Back to you.
Oh, I just got shook out of a Gevo there. I had a quick short off 10. We did get some out here at like 983. I reversed into the long and then got shaken out of it. When it did, it kind of slammed back down there and got me out of the long, and now it's looking like it's going to continue to go. So at this point, you know, there was a couple of good longs that both break there. Both breaks would have worked for you. I only got the winning trade on the first one. I'm going to look for at some point that short. Again, it might be 10.50. I might just have to look at the level 2, see when it looks like the bid is no longer able to follow this one up. Gevo's still making a big time run there. I talked about MaxR maybe turning around a little bit. Virgin Galactic did come all the way back in, and I did get out when it broke 46.50, so now I'm looking for that MaxR short. Lower high just got put in. It's below that 52 with a bit of a fail break at 52 even. I like the lower high as a stop because it's only done 700,000 shares. It's got a bit of a spread here, 10-15 cents at a time, so I want to have a safer and tighter stop on MaxR now that Virgin has come back into the downside a little bit.
Yeah, Virgin Galactic. We almost get out, so I just want to review it. 39.50 is our stopping spot there for GameStop. So that's our stop for GameStop. So we did actually get out there on that 42.50 break. So this is the kind of responsibility I'm talking about. You go long 43 and you get out 40. That's like a 70-cent hit right there after taking a couple dollars on the high side. And then now we hold that last 5%. I think it's worth it. Maybe another break of VWAP. We go longer again, but I'm going to hold that to a break of 39.50. AMC, been super patient, man. We took out some 77s again, so back long here. Unfortunately, we got the absolute worst out we could have got there. I mean, we could have got 1 cent lower, but that was a huge hit for me there after averaging in. We wanted to get out if it did break 260. It does do that. Should have waited a little longer. Well, I'm going to just review the charts after the show and see, how we could have maybe not gotten out there and still got in, because then this day would literally be a floss kind of day if we had still held this. But, again, we didn't, so that's fine. That's our only loser today, guys. There goes GameStop, so breaks through 39.50. We're out of that one, falling a hole in the last little bit. But, man, that was fun, and we'll see if we can't do it again, Brendo.
I'm not sure if you mentioned this, guys. I apologize if you did, but Citron just tweeting about GameStop, saying it's going to go back to 20 in a hurry. So Citron on GameStop, guys.
I just quickly saw that and took a shot at shorting it, but I mean, we've seen these reports before. I actually want to just scalp out of it. There was this chance to take this little break here at 39.65 on that report and able to very, very quickly get 40 or 50 cents. If we break, and again, off the open, it did come to a 38.50, so that could be another quick little trade that I'll be taking if I can get liquidity through that price. It is falling like a little bit of a rock here on GameStop. I'll see if I can't get that break and work it into a 37 to 37.50 area, but hopefully in and out very quickly. GVO got to 10.59. I can't believe I got shaken out of that second long second long at 10 even, but looks like 10.50 broke and then came back down. So it might be that level for retesting the short. Nope, forget about it. It just broke it again, Brendan.
So earnings on Bank of America and Goldman in the pre-market. We talked about JP Morgan and Morgan Stanley last week with earnings. This is a volume scenario, though. You can see a huge volume spike came in here for MS right at 75.5. We're kind of chopping around 75.5, about 3 times relative volume today for Morgan, guys.
All right. So, yeah, sometimes you get a little unlucky there, guys. And honestly, that Citron report comes out and the thing just falls down. So, you probably were going to see 40, 45 high there. I think we probably would have gone back there. But, we talked about Citron. We have some reports. We have some stuff out on our Market Wisdom page about them and how they can affect some of the stocks. So they do get that move down. So congratulations to anybody that saw that report early. I didn't, and we got out there. But I'm still happy. That's why you got to have plans, because, if you don't get out there and you see the report, then you do get everything out there and it becomes a disaster. So I'm going to go back long on a 40.70 break, but it still has to happen. So that's going to be that's going to be GameStop for us on that one. And then Palantir really not moving much. We did get a nice little print there at 27.40, but we're still in the money there, that 13 pennies. So let's just hope for the best right now on Palantir. And other than that, man, Alibaba, I like the 251 break. That's come back down a little bit as well. So we didn't get that 251. It comes right up to it and stalls. So let's watch out. It's building a nice base here, though. Alibaba 247.75.
I got to ask Brennan what the short interest on GVO is right now, because it just went hella parabolic through $11 now. It looks like maybe that's going to be a bit of a turn. I'm going to see if I can't. I just tried to get shares there at 95. Now it broke through 11. And then slammed back to the downside. Oh my goodness, the 13% short interest. Thank you, Brennan, for letting me know. But I just missed this. I was live right when it happened. I thought 11 could be there. I love failed breaks. But you try to get into this one, and I'm not going to catch it on the way back up. If we get some consolidation off 11, even I'll take a shot at GVO. But man, that would have been a fantastic punch if I could have got 95s there on the way back in from 11. But that just got parabolic really, really fast. Brendo?
This Playtika, PLTK, one of the IPOs from last week, in fact, just popping up on a volume scanner here as we came back into these pre-market levels, 32.20 and 32, trying to hold here for PLTK, guys.
Yeah, I don't know much about that, but we did see that come through, and it was a good one last week, if I remember correctly. Playtika did open up to a lot and then didn't do a whole hell of a lot. Let's check out on Woof, another one, just reminding me there. I go check on BFT. I don't know what that stock's doing either. Hard to watch my own positions as the day goes here. But Woof back down. Ooh, wow, Woof. What a great opportunity. It IPO'd at 26, guys. You could have had 26.50 today. That would have been a good trade.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you know what? It's just a little weaker than I anticipated. And that kind of brings me back to Affirm. My apologies, because I was looking at a 120 break on Affirm, and it's just pulling back in as well here, Sean. There's obviously not a heck of a lot of levels to look at, but there is this 105 area that's been a bit of a double bottom for Affirm. So if there's any test of 105, I'm likely to try to pick up some shares here on the day trade in front of it on Affirm. It just bounced off of like 108. If it goes any further, I'm looking at that 105. I completely missed that GIVO $11, and it looks like this one's starting to get a little bit weaker. This 1050 even tries to get some consolidation here for the bulls. Maybe that run up gives you another test of 11. I might try to play that to the short side off the high of the day, 1120. I'm not 100% sure it even happens. This isn't that deep of a pullback, at least in terms of where we were in the pre-market, but it's already a 10% turn on GIVO, so I would expect maybe it has a shot to at least test at 11, which I'd love to be taking another short, or at least getting a short this time off that price and getting out the high day.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been into GIVO yet today. I'm still looking. I mean, I'm just looking at this wolf right now. Plug Power, wow, what a big mover that one's up today, 6% plus right now, and Plug's still making moves out of the high side right now. So let's watch out here for a little Plug Power action. Damn it, it's pretty choppy right here. So I don't know what to expect from Plug, but it does look like it's a little bit of chop city right there for PLUG down to 63.80. That's the view up. This is just a 1 minute chart. What time is it anyways? It's 10:07, so still need to be on this 1 minute chart, but Plug Power not looking too juicy. I thought it would be a little better than that as we go over to look at it. Let's see what Softy's doing today on this pullback there. We did see the GM news, obviously. We don't want to sleep on that. 214.50 there. The high 214.80. Again, it's just not moving, man. Not much happening. Maybe we could check out some Apple.
Oh, Sean, back to 38.50 on GameStop. The first short was when the news came out, and there was a shot here off of like this area, the 39.60s. I just shorted the 38.50 and then got out of almost everything in front of 38. Trying to hold on for at least this time, at least a little bit here. I'll go to break even, stop, and then see if we can't hang on to 37 even. This is, again, just playing the momentum off the Citron report and nothing else. A lot of times, and we'll talk about this, we did drop a video talking about these short seller reports, and we'll talk about this one, how to play it in day two, which sometimes is an even better trade. But for now, it's just a strictly momentum play, pulling back in. A lot of people are running to the exits because they want to take their profits. And remember, a lot of people are in the money here on GameStop and have a lot of room to take profit off. So you could see, a lack of a bid, at least potentially all the way maybe down to like a 34 area. That would not surprise me. I don't want to hold on to this too far. It's break even, stop, or out in front of 37s on this particular short. And there goes GIVO. Hopefully you guys got out of that one as well, as it's now down at 10.30, so it didn't even retest 11 to give me an entry.
Yeah, the short on GameStop was sweet. Yeah, good little break there for that name. So, and what we're trying to also have a little break on here is AMC. Can it and will it get as high as we need it to, up through 280? There's some nice little size there. We did take an out there at 79. Again, we have the advantage of sitting here on, I got to close this so you can see the time in sales, some of these gateways that will pay us and then get paid to throw it out. So it's adding and removing liquidity. So you sit on an Edge A or a Boss X here for anybody in our Day Trade the World universe. You can get filled, so that's what I did. I'm not waiting on a NASDAQ or an Edge X here to get fees. I'd rather just pay it, let it go through 280. Nice little win here, bringing our AMC back to life. So that's a nice little chicken dinner winner there for us on AMC, and we'll just wait to see how high this one wants to go. We're long now at 271. Damn it, I'm still so damn bitter because we did have that one. That was horrible. Our only loser today, AMC. So. AMC on that first little dig down there. Too many shares too early, but I like the spot. It just sucks that it tested my out.
Yeah, and I almost spoke too soon about GIVO not giving another retest of $11. It does look like it's getting very close to bouncing and getting to that same price. If we get a rollover in front of it, I'll take a shot. But for now, Brendan has something for it.
Seems like a daily occurrence now, but this E-Hang Holdings, guys, if you remember those individual personalized flying cars, electric flying cars, this E-Hang is making big down day, if you remember, back on Friday. So a heads up, did get to $50 on Friday, but that was the reversal spot. So E-Hang back to the upside.
There's too many of them. This is why we go over we go over the watch list, of course, because we want to make sure we're taking actionable trades and stocks that are going to be moving. But Brendan's going to be giving us movers and shakers. If you don't have a plan of action on the stocks that you're focusing on, it's almost impossible to then jump in and play some of these movers here. I thought GIVO would retest 11. It just stalled out again. trying to get back there like at a 1070 before snapping back to the downside. So there is some weakness. I'm going to stay hands off on GVO. It's released a little bit here. Go back over to Maxar. This is all about the play of this space SPAC. The second Virgin Galactic turned around and got me out of my long. That's when I wanted to be into the short on Maxar off this lower high at 52. It's going to test this area here, 51.50, so it's just going to make sense for me to see if I can't get a quick little scalp of some of these shares out, and then for like 25, 30 cents, and then the next leg down here will be like 51.25. I'll take the next leg out, then work it hopefully all the way back into a VWAP retracement on Maxar. So just playing a bit of a momentum reverse in, I guess, both of these names, and I should show you Virgin Galactic. I was playing off 31.50. We did have a nice trade literally in seconds for 70 cents, and then took the rest out, took more out here for another 70-cent win. Got back in at 31.70, then had to get out when it broke 50. So the last trade, of course, is a loser, and that's when I got into the Maxar short. Brendan?
This XPEV, guys, XPeng just popping up on a volume scanner here. Back to significant levels you can see on the daily chart. This is 54.90, 54.85, 54.90. So we're just at 54.5 right now, but XPEV, 14% today on volume.
14, wow, okay, yeah, it's surprising because NIO today is going the other 14% up, right? So NIO today up 3%, still waiting. I mean, super choppy. Like, I just wish that this thing would move. Maybe if we get a break, did it just get to 58.40 there? I don't know. If we get that break though, 58.40 on NIO. Let me just check on another software here just to see if we did get to. No, that didn't happen. So watch out for this 58.40 break on NEO. I think that's worth a long there, especially since we see what's happening on XPeng. Here it goes right now, guys. 58.40. We'll take the long.
Yeah. I was just about to try to show that same thing. My chart just quickly froze on me. But yeah, I mean, you see NEO basically flat on the session. Well, at least barely up, I should say. It's not really flat, but compared to XPeng, it certainly is. It's still trying to break out. I kind of prefer... I usually prefer the even dollars here, but the chart tells you that 51.40. I just got to go back over to Maxar if I can, because we'll go slaying some dragons. I don't know if we're actually slaying a dragon here in Maxar, but the first leg hit at that 55.30. The next one is going to be in and around this quarter. It's got a bit of a spread, this stock, guys, so I want to make sure I have orders out, which I didn't before. So 51 does seem like a bit of a level, but I kind of like to test, see if it can't break through that one and get out on the south side of VWAP. So next leg out will be for a 50 to 60 cent win in front of the quarter mark. Already 1 for 1 on the first exit point on Maxar. We did talk about the banks, bank earnings, and I was going to, I did mention about BAC being a short potentially through that 32. It just obviously never happened. We got a big bounce in BAC off of the open. It's still negative on the session. I just want to double check to make sure I do still have my order to go short if it ever breaks 32. Sometimes if you like a level, maybe it's worth playing the long in front of it. My bias was to the short side. That's the only reason I didn't use that level for a long, which would have been fantastic. I'm going to leave that in. I still want to go short through 32 if we see any continued weakness on Bank of America.
Yeah, BAC, we looked at that before today, and I was waiting for that 32 to break. So good look there if you guys are still looking at that level. Could be something. We'll see. That's BAC, and then we can check back in on the invested stock for me anyways. That's JPM 138. Yeah, I don't like the way the banks are moving. I think it might be time to rotate out of the banks, and I want to get, like I said, I think Facebook has a big report. So I'd like to get some money back into Facebook to work. So I may get out of some AMC, out of some JPM, and then back through. I do still like this high on AMC, so I'm going to take another long if we do have an opportunity to go long through 287. So I just want to bring that to everyone's attention that I'm not running away from that trade. Tesla today, we can wait on it maybe. Tesla today up to 850 or so before turn. Yeah, 851 looks like we have that as the high before turning. Come on, chart. We have that as the high before turning around. That's Tesla. Yeah, 848. Oh, I guess the high wasn't even 851. 848 and change. And it's just kind of hovering right now. I don't really see too much of a trade here on Tesla. Let me look for a 3-minute chart just to see if there's anything else. These levels, it's just so choppy. Unless you want to go short Tesla, I think you can get one at 835. But for right now, it's just nothing's really happening in this space. This is why we got to trade names that are moving. I know Neil and I.
Sean,
go ahead. Yeah.
Look, it's a bit of a missed one here. We did, and I want to credit Brendan for this one because we've been trying to talk about this 3D as much as we can. It's just. I definitely had one too many names that I was watching on the radar. And 3D, we did talk about this 30 area for potential a nice little break. It gave you a failed look off of the open for the pre-market high break, but then it holds consolidation off its open price, and then makes a huge run, which has already been faded back in. So, I wouldn't necessarily be jumping all over the long here. I think once the squeeze is on, it's putting in a bit of a wedge at 31. I'd almost be more interested in taking this 30-60 break to the downside. But 3D, fantastic little runner. There's been so many of them today. Obviously, the biggest one is going to be GameStop, no questions about it. 3D gave you a bit of a look. GVO gave you one as well. Like I said, I hope you guys, anyone that was long here, hopefully you got out. It is looking like now it wants to test 10 and maybe come into VWAP. I'll be looking to see what happens at that 975 mark. If I get a bounce off that price, I'm very likely to see if I can't fade and short into this chop range. It's about 30 to 50. So I'd want to be shorting somewhere in the 35 to 40 range if we get a bounce off of VWAP here. I'd rather it not turn at just 10 even. I want to see it fall a little bit further before trying to catch a bounce.
That Neo goes rate, yeah, GVO, good. And look, I mean, look at the volume on some of these names, right, guys? And that's the thing. Join us early. I'm just going to show this up quickly, guys, before I go ahead and talk about Neo. This is our morning movers. It's absolutely free. And like I keep saying, if you don't sign up for this, I think you're definitely missing something. It gives you all of our stocks that we're going to be looking at, and mostly the ones that we're going to be trading. I mean, anything happens throughout the day, but Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, Plug, Space, BlackBerry's been a big winner for us. We haven't traded Tesla, but they're all on here. Valeria, as usual, we'll be dropping the link, so you guys could definitely check that out, and please do, because it makes a lot of sense to me. And like I said, it's one of the biggest things that have helped my trading here. And make sure you hit the like button. And if you don't hit the like button, hit the share button, please. Let's get this going. We're trying to get more subscribers. It's a completely free show, and I think we're doing pretty good. We're going to have some big guests on. We have some more guests coming this week. That should be exciting. What's Graham.U doing right now? We could check in on this one. This was a product that came through last week. Sorry, it's CEO. Okay, $11.99, $12, not doing much. But this is Graham. We checked that out. Sorry about the chart there. Oh my God. It does go as high as $12.90 earlier today, and now fading back in. The parent company, so getting in with Jay-Z. I just wanted to check it back to see how we're doing on Graham. Not good, I guess. I bought this at $12.75.
It's your boy. You know what? I want to double. I want to double check it because I swear I saw a tweet about Graham, but I don't want to say there was news on it. But I swear I saw a little something this morning on Graham. I have to double check. AMC starting to level off here. I took a short, got back into this one at like 270. Immediately took out that 75 mark. It is still trying to grind higher, but I'm not seeing nearly the follow through that I like. There were some good longs up until literally the open, and then it sort of fell apart here. If we get back below, and I'm calling it the 60 to 65 price range, that's when I'm going to jump back over to the shorts. There was just a bounce in GVO. It did not continue to where I wanted to see it, so no re-entry point for me. Before we go to Brendan, I just want to quickly go back to this observe. It's still the same range, this 490 to 5 area. We shorted it. We've gotten only the scalp trade into 470. It's looking like it might roll over now. And speaking of now, it is time for Brendan at the big screen for our small cap recap, I believe.
Hey guys, yeah, small cap time. We'll have a revisit on some that we were talking about in the pre-market here. 10x, TENX was up significantly more than this. We've come down back into the twos. Wanted to bring your attention to the daily chart. Last time we had a big pop like this, so we get a big, huge, wide range daily bar. The next few days get really, really tight. So just be mindful of that when taking profits if you are trying to fade this. We've come in about 70 cents already. This thing does not have a huge ATR typically. So just a heads up, volume starting to die off a little bit on 10x. TRXC was looking at 295 and then 3, which was that high from the pre-market there. Had to be quick with this one on the way down this morning at the open to 250. There was a buyer that pushed that right back up. As you see, we're right back to that 293 area on TRXC. Positive news for that one. This one as well, AVGR, just playing off of Friday's levels. There was a bit of an area, 175 from the pre-market on Friday, these couple of wicks. And then below that, you got to look at 165. So I would have taken more on the way up, but this range dying off for AVGR. DBVT, also another great opportunity this morning in small cap world. Back over to Sean.
There goes Palantir at finally. Thank you, Brendan. Yeah, a couple good names there in small cap world today, and great trading, Brendan, as we see on the board there. Wow, good job, my friend Brendan there, doing double duties, triple duties, quadruple duties. You guys have no idea how much that guy works. But okay, Palantir comes back down to 2780 there. Sorry, 2680 breaks that level, then gets us out on that little move down on the NASDAQ. So that's completely fine, man. Like, we are fine with that. That's what's going to happen, and we did take out that last 5%, but a loser there. But Palantir still my number one. Well, yeah, it's close to my number one stock. BlackBerry's still up there as well. 1070, 1075, looking to break back through 11. I don't know. We'll see. RMO, isn't that Romeo Power? Yeah, RMO, a recent SPAC turned over now. Now it's going to be Romeo. Wow, they got 3750. See, this is the thing. Like, I can't. It's so hard to value these SPACs. Like, we're into BFT. I'll talk about that in a minute. But it's like when they're announced, like bang, it's gonna. I forget what RMO was. Maybe Brendan, if you remember, but up to $32, $33, and then finally when the name switches over here to Romeo Power today, RMO. I don't know if it was today or not, but you could see just down to 20.85, getting hit back to the downside. So just be careful on some of the SPACs that you're invested in. I'm in BFT. That one really, okay, it's still holding up, so that's nice. We bought some more on this one. This is going to be pay safe. And again, just stick with the stocks that you're comfortable with. And I don't know enough about PaySafe, but I do know that they're in the gambling side of things. I've been recommending DraftKings. So this is a way from NetTeller and whatnot to get your money in. This is another SPAC. So we're long down here. Sorry, we didn't pick it down here. We're long down here, 13, 14, and we bought some last week as well on BFT. So we're really happy about that one. And then STIC, which is going to be BarkBox. We're also in that. So those are the only two SPACs that I'm in right now. What up, B?
So this was the RMG Acquisition Corporation SPAC, which is now obviously Romeo. So this is an EV play. So they're in the battery game on the EV side of things and the electrification. So yeah, definitely positive anyways for Romeo so far, guys, on the battery side of things.
Yeah, and definitely, like, as always, make sure you have a sound understanding of exactly what you're getting into in terms of timelines, because we've seen some of those have some interesting moves after you get the deals, so the deals announced. I want to go back to Sens. This was a quick in and out for me in the pre-market, but retesting some of Friday's levels, at least in the afternoon. There was like this sort of turnaround point at like 180 to 185. This is where we're getting to now. I'm watching GIVO at 10 even as well. So a couple of big levels coming up here. 185, if there's a turn on Sens, I want to have that one to the short side. And then watching GIVO, which continues its pullback. It just broke 10 even. Of course, my chart's finally loading. It just broke 10 even. I wanted to see this 975 area. If there was a bit of a bounce off there, I think we're definitely going to be fading that. There's so much room on GIVO to come back in, but it just pulled back rather heavily. So I'm not going to force the trade above VWAP. I want to see if we can't get a bounce and fade into like a 1050. It's still a bit of a plan, as this 10 break has not really followed through just yet.
Yeah, it's like, how disappointing is AMC, guys, today? It was a good stock, and I still believe in it. It's just, it's not moving. So we're long here at 70. We did cash out a lot up here, 70, 80s to the high side. We still do have 40%, though, of our 71 long. I don't know. I was going to use, again, something even lower than this as an out, even down here, 230, 235. We did get screwed up on that, our early trade out, and now I'm just trying to get some out at 73. So there it is. Okay, so nice. Okay, we got some fills there. Out at 73 off of our 71 long. Look, it's only 2 pennies. We're licking our wounds on this stock as it just not really moving. But Brendan brought up XPeng to us earlier. This is a stock that's moving, so let's have a look. Up that 13%, like Brendan mentioned today, and still trying to go. 52 breaks, that would have been a pretty sweet long. Now we can see it's coming back in. Let's see last week. What's this high? 52.70. Obviously, we're well above that right now. So yeah, I like XPeng. We'll zoom in just a little bit closer just to give us a range. This is a 3-minute chart. Let's go to a 1 minute, see if there's worthy of any scalps. Back down to 53.50. We may break that and start to head north side. So 53.40 on a scalp down. I don't like to go short on stocks that are up 12%. But
before we go to Brendan here, BlackBerry just took out the high of day. Remember, these prices on Friday, it was a lot of whippy action between 11.25 and 11.35, which we were identifying in the pre-market. That's where I like for a break to the upside. I might even fade in front of it because so far it's a failed break at the high of day. Brendan?
All right, guys, speaking of energy and batteries, this one just popping up, Lithium America, if you remember, LAC. 30%. I don't need to remind anyone, but the new administration, as of tomorrow, going to bring a whole bunch of new funding for clean energy, guys. So a nice move for LAC today.
Energy use.
LA Clippers. Okay, yeah, but you know, I like BlackBerry there actually, all the way up and then fades back down. So yeah, let's watch out for that high break there, 1120 or so. I don't really know why it would have just shot up like that, but it did. So yeah, big move upside there, breaking through VWAP. We dumped all of ours before. We basically got the best we could have in that spot, 1105, 1108, but there it is, taking out 1118. So BlackBerry on a little bit of a pullback here. Might look pretty juicy back to about 1085 or so. Yeah, right there. If we can get that, I was just seeing where this consolidation level is. Would have been a great play off VWAP, but we did miss that one, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to happen. But I still like that 1125 area, certainly if we get a bit of a break there. Just coming back to GVO, which I sort of promised I would. Bit of a bet. It's not 975, but we're talking about like 980, 985. It just turned around off of close enough to VWAP. So I'm going to look to see if we do get this little push back into that 35 to 50 area like we talked about before. If I do, I'm going to be jumping into the short position just to review a couple of the ones which are still sort of okay. I do still have ZOM. That's really slowed down. Not doing a heck of a lot, but it is trying to grind lower. I tried to pick up some more shares at 114, but it's looking like it's going to retest down to that 105, 106, where I'm still looking to get shares out in front of a buck. So I haven't changed the plan there. It's just not moving. There's nothing to see on that name. GVO is likely to be the next trade. I do want to quickly remind everybody, I talked about Lordstown very, very briefly, if only because right at the open it failed right at 25 bucks. There hasn't been a bit of a retest, but I'm sort of watching this 24 area now. There's been a consolidation and sort of holding a higher low. Lordstown had been, you look at the daily chart, a bit on a bit of a rush here, but the last couple of sessions has been trying to find its way to a bottom. I'm not saying it's right here, but there was that breakout right around these same prices. This 2350 was a monster breakout price back early last week, actually on Monday of last week. So if it bounces here, I like a 24 break on Lordstown into 25. I'm going to have that 25 break. I'm going to like that all day, every day, because it's also that round number. But 24 as well here on Ride.
And guys, can't complain about BFT right now, guys. We've been talking about this stock for quite a long time. So yeah, hell yeah, we're happy with the way BFT's trading right now, up that 11-12% right there. So big trade alert for me on BFT in the personal account, up to 17.23. Hell yeah, this is a big one. And the reason why I'm getting some messages here from some friends that are saying hell yeah, BFT, and they're loving some of those calls. So good on that. We'll see how high up BFT wants to go. Bingo is its name-o, BNGO there, making moves as well. No, you're not in New York stock, my friend. You are on the beloved NASDAQ. So let's just have a quick look here. 955 on Bingo. Bingo up 13% today, looking like a good one. Let's just see where if we can get any levels. If it does pull back 910, 940. What is this? 935 as a bottom here on BNGO. Again, it's so super choppy. I want to find a stock that's kind of like going right here at some of these levels. This is not going to be one of them. It might be BlackBerry, but BFT moving and rocking to the high side. What's up with GILD, Gilead there? Shout out to you, 67.50. Up again, come on, Bingo, let's switch charts. Gilead's up 6%, 7%. Don't know if there was news there, but this is the beloved once remdesivir was thought as being the savior for the coronavirus. But right now it looks like Gilead making, and that's just a treatment, I think it's still being used. This might be a good level, Brendan. I don't know if there's news on this one, but 67, 63 or so. If it breaks the high, GILD, I like you a lot.
Yeah, just a quick look over here. I saw Brent, one of our members here, asking, or at least talking about OBSV, and it's been sort of the relatively easier move to the downside. My chart is, that just freeze? Why do we not go to, there we go. Here's observe, and for some reason that is frozen, so I'll just quickly go to the 15. And no, and that is frozen as well. So I don't know, Brendan, we'll throw to you for some news.
Yeah, I'm going to double check on Gilead. Wanted to bring this one to your attention, though. VGAC, after the success of Virgin Galactic, guys, this is rumored to be Virgin Orbit. So Virgin Orbit is a division of Virgin Galactic that launches satellites. So Richard Branson looking to take Virgin Orbit. So VGAC, 13%. Again, just rumors as of yet, but that's why this one's popping off. It looks like so far today. It's 10:30. That means there's an hour left in the session over in Europe. Miss B is watching what's going on over there. What's up, V?
Hey Brandon, European markets are mixed. The US politics are in focus. CTS event team trading in Germany is down more than 6% after Berenberg downgraded the stock from buy to hold. Back to you.
Yeah, we'll double check on Europe coming up at 11, guys. But again, VGAC, possibly Virgin Orbit, guys.
Okay.
We were actually talking about Virgin Orbit this morning because they had literally a successful launch this weekend, launching. It's the same type of a launch where it's like an air launch that Virgin Galactic does. So very similar in terms of that structure. But they did have a successful satellite launch. So the timing couldn't be any better. Of course, as Brendan said, it's only speculation. Oh goodness, if this one gives you anything in like this 1330 range, it's always tricky with any of these because you tend to see a bit of a sell-off. And if it gives you anything, and the reason I say 13 to 1330 is just looking at what happened since this launch here. And 1280 to 13 would look like a bit of a break into possible support. Maybe it gives us that price, but I would wait for a sell-off because there is no firm I guess commitment or anything here. We're playing the rumor and not necessarily the news. GVO is getting right into that target area, so I'm about to get there we go. Yeah, I actually just got filled there at 30, so I did get back into the GVO to the short side trade. Talked about that 1035 to sort of 1050 area to play the short trade.
Yeah, GVO, nice little mover there. AMC does resist that 70 or so there, but not by much. Going back up there, I just wish there was more for me to talk to you guys about, but there's not. AMC, I just wish that would go finally for us. NEO does go the other way. I was waiting for that 58.70 break, like you guys. I hope you heard me talk about that. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know anything about this stock, but we're going to wait. Well, not today, anyways. It hasn't really traded. We waited for this to break, and what a great level that was. 58.40. As you can see, it does not break and then turns right around. So I think that's a level that we can probably trust a little bit moving forward there. 58.40. Let's just see if that is the killer spot for that stock, and that's going to be NEO. XPeng, we did look at that as well. That's XPEV, of course, here in New York, trying to take out that top 54.78. Really not moving around. I wish there was more for me to tell you. I don't really love too many of these names today, guys. Alibaba not really moving. The market not doing a whole hell of a lot, but we're doing pretty good. VGAC, Brendan. I mean, that was a good one that you just brought to us. And I think that if this is a space name, as it's imagined to be there, this could take off through 14. Let's try it back through 14 in case there is some sort of confirmation on that one. I like VGAC here. Through 14, thanks for bringing that to our attention.
Yeah, it's definitely a good look. I actually went with my gut here on GVO. I did have that the entry point of that range at 30. It just at the time between 25 and 30, the bid just felt the tape felt a little bit strong there, so I quickly got out of it. And again, this is that time of day where you don't want to necessarily force trades. I'm sort of with you liking that VGAC, but I want to come back to, if I can, 3D, which just made another bounce off of, consolidation bounce off of 30.50. Previously, we'd like the 30 area, but it is worth noting off of the open, this was like a 30.40 top, pullback, and then breakout, holding this dip. And every time I see this, if we hold this price, we're looking at possibly an afternoon break. I'm going to take it right here at 31.65. This is at least the last half an hour or so the top of the range. So looking for a 31.65 break on 3D. Otherwise, playing in front of that 30.50, which does look like solid support here. It's still up 11%, but keep in mind how far it did pull back, at a 10% pullback off of the after the opening push.
Okay, so here goes. I still can't believe I'm really in love with that BFT right now. That's doing well. Okay, so I think this BlackBerry is probably worth something up here at least. 11.30. We had the high a couple days ago, about 11.30. So let's take out this top here, 11.25. If it goes on BlackBerry, we're going to get involved. So BlackBerry through 11.25, we're going to get involved in a long. I do like it. We did have a couple. I mean, maybe if I can go to 3 minutes here. Here it goes right through 11.25 right now. But this was that top 11.30 not too long ago, guys. I like BlackBerry through here.
Yeah, I mean, I like the quarter, so I just got into BlackBerry. It was a lot of chop in this range. If my chart will actually cooperate here. It was a lot of chart in this range when it tried to break through the first time, all the way from like 20 into 35. So you pick your poison. I just went with the round number. Certainly, you're not right until we actually break this 35 area. So I'm not doing anything with this until either 11 breaks to even to the downside. I wouldn't start taking profit off until I get a shot at around that like 11.40 to 1150 range. So in here, I'll hopefully let the noise ride itself out. My long is right at 25 somehow. Sometimes you get one of those breaks. And you get a good entry point. So it looks like maybe a dark pool might have filled me or something along those lines, because I had a 25 break stop and then end up getting filled at 25 even. I'll throw my 11 even stop and then just let this one hopefully ride to 1150.
Okay, yeah, I just took some out there at 28, so we take a little small scalp there for 2 pennies. And again, guys, trade your book like we all have different shares. So you guys got to look what you're doing here. I'm trying to scalp this upside. Here it goes, 1130, 1120. Let's see if there's a nice little out again, 34, 35. This is why, guys. This is why we talk about it. We go bullish on BlackBerry. This has been a big stock for me today, and it's going to look like it continue to do so. Man, we are nicely positive now on the day for this. We had one misstep today, only one wrong trade. That was AMC, and it doesn't look like BlackBerry's going to be wrong at all, as it just keeps on moving to the upside right now. A nice little trade, but I did want to bring out this attention to you. That's 1140. That was a stock that we stopped at last time. So a couple good outs there. We just took some 34s. So we took 28s, 33s, and now 34s out on BlackBerry, as you can see, still trying to work its way higher. But remember, 1140 was the stop. Yes, sir. Explode the money. Let's go, BlackBerry. Another big trade on this side. We clap our hands. We're getting going now. Let's get that energy back up, guys. It's 1040. Another big trade here on BB.
I just got another trigger here. So not Virgin Galactic, Lordstown, we talked about 25 earlier. 24 was the next level. I don't know, a bit of a gap in my chart here. There, it just filled in. 24 just broke. I was able to get 05 to the long side, so new position alert. I'll definitely give it back into this 65 to 75 range. BlackBerry just broke like 35s. I wanted some of that out in front of that 40s. I want to go over to, and I'm still holding this on Palantir, and that's because I told myself in some of these trades, when I'm trying to hold the last little bit, I want to give it all the way back to break even instead of having trailing stops. So I've resisted the temptation to put a trail here at 26.70 and just say if it breaks down, get out. I'm going to have my stop at 26.50 because that's where we got the breakout long in. So I'm going to hang on to this, and it might be for the rest of the day. Who knows? Palantir is going to do what it's going to do. I want to check back in on Peloton because it's back to that 150 price. Where we talked about this a little bit on some weakness in Peloton, but it's trying to break back above 150. If it holds this throughout the afternoon, I think, at least to the downside, there might be a bit of a short. It'll show some weakness, but many of these names look like they're bouncing back up. At this particular time, watching Gevo bounce back to 1050. I'm hoping for a turn there. BlackBerry just broke through its high as well, which we're talking about, of course. That's alongside. We both have it here. And then one last one, if I can. Some of you guys have been talking about this nano dimension. I'm looking at 11 even on a break for this. Sometimes it's a big retracement play, it missed the top, but watching 11, if there's some size there that breaks, that's worthy of a bit of a quick little scalp short.
And guys, you're welcome about BlackBerry, man. I see some people saying that they took it there, so that was a good trade. This is why we get out, guys. Big moves, upside, and again, trade your position. We're long 25s or 26s there. We take a little bit more out on that dip just in case, but I'm trying to hold the rest of this now to the high side. So let's see how high BlackBerry wants to continue to fly. We've got it, man. It's a good one, that's for sure. And then right now too, back from the dead comes AMC. So we'll do a little swish on this one. We held that through VWAP. We were giving it a little lower there. So let's go to the high side now on AMC. We're 4 for 4 right now. Oh yeah, by the way, there's Gilead right now on another winner for us right there. So yeah, we're gonna floss it off. Look at Gilead. Here's a 20 penny winner. We brought this to you. No news, Randy, no problem. We still trade this one to the high side there. We asked for that news, nothing. Gilead now to the high side. Let's see if it goes to 68, man. We're hella long, and we're turning this day around, guys. Hit the air horn. What turned out to be a day that I wanted to punch myself in my face turns out to be a good one as we just keep going higher here. All the trades since that first one have been winners. Palantir, big winner there. AMC, big winner, off this level 70. Hopefully he can go. That was a mistake. BlackBerry there. Everything else making moves. GameStop back to 37. That's falling like a rock there. Thanks a lot, Citron. Still waiting for 39.50 to break. But without any further ado, sector watch. Let's see what's popping off in what sector. With Brendo.
Hey guys, let's have a look at the S&P 500. We'll see what's in charge so far. About 0.5% in positive territory at this point. Yeah, there's Gilead leading the way in the pharmaceutical group here for healthcare stocks. Look at Regeneron right underneath that. 3.5% for Regeneron. Eli Lilly's there as well, 2.5%. So yeah, healthcare stocks definitely among the leaders. A few decliners at the bottom here, HSIC and ALGN down about 2.3% each. Let's flip over to industrials. It's the industrials group that is providing most of the strength here today. Capital goods, the entire group outside of one there in positive territory. Nicely as well, URI, TTFLS, all 3+%. Some of the transportation names over here, there are a few airlines picking up to the upside. AAL leading the way there, 1.8% in positive territory. Information technology stocks as well. Software, the semiconductors, even technology hardware makers positive outside of these two kind of offsetting each other. This group is also in positive territory. ENPH there, QCOM, Skyworks, and LRCX, all 3 to 5% to the upside. Same story on the software side. You can see most of that group also in positive territory. Far corner here, communication stocks are lower. Some of the broadcasters are negative today. Utilities, consumer staples as well to the downside. But overall, nice day so far. About 0.5%, guys, for the market. Back to you.
Definitely a nice day, and it continues to be. And we'll line it up and knock this one out of riding the profits here in Lordstown. Yeah, live. There you go. But it just got some out of the 24 quarter mark. Play those quarters, play those 50s. If we get another push up, and we're consolidating now with that quarters, I'm looking for like that 40 area to get some more. And then if it breaks 50, use that momentum to hopefully take some shares out here on the north side of it. If we test the high of the day, I will be all flat if we get to 25. Why? Because the first look I had was a 25 breakout trade. So that's its own trade in Lordstown. A bit of a reminder, we did a look at the higher time frame here. There was a nice break. It was a big time breakout in the afternoon. Well, I guess late morning. Back last Monday through 23.30 to 40, right in this price area. That's exactly where it bounced. So I like that kind of a thing. Shows that there is some support down there. So that's why I like the break at 24. I was originally looking at hopefully it would have consolidated here and give me the 25 break, which also corresponded with a bottom on the 12th. So lots of levels setting up here nicely for Lordstown. We're already out 1 for 1 there. BlackBerry, I did get a bit out there as it did test that 1140. And GEVO, I don't know, it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride here. And the last one is a bit of a fail on my part. I grabbed a short as it was fading off that 1050 like I said I was trying to do. I got shares at 38. I went to put a stop order in and ended up punching out of the position. It was immediately like, by the time I realized, sort of my mistake, it was down, 10, 15 cents or so, and I'm not going to chase this one to the downside. I wanted the short as tight as I can to that 1050 after it failed. I didn't want to risk 25 pennies. I wanted to risk about 10 to 15. So once I sort of missed out on that opportunity, I actually made like a cent or two there. Either way, we'll look to see if it tests VWAP again. If we're below 975, I think I'm going to be shorting GEVO that way as well.
Okay, guys, and we did it here on AMC, and it's funny, though, because I just laughed a little bit there at David Garcia in the chat. He goes, your only loser is a winner. And yeah, you're right. This was the only loser we had on board today, and this is AMC. So yeah, straight to the upside now. We'll take some off. So we're long at 70. I just wish we had more shares. This is a nice 12-cent win on a $2 name. We're going back to the day's high. I still want to go long if it takes out the top here. So we're going to put some of our, hopefully our luck back into this name here. And look, this is why you cash out a BlackBerry, guys. Again, we talked about this with Kevin on Friday. Neil, myself, and Brendan talk about this literally all the time. And that is that when you get profits, you got to take them. And this was a big one for me here on BlackBerry. And again, just understand how many shares you're trading and what your targets are, right? I mean, people say, oh, I hit my target already, blah, blah, blah. It's just about whatever you're comfortable with. Where is your target? How do you want to trade these things? And I'll give you another example here on Gilead. This is now 35 cents in the money, right? But I'm scalping this out, 75s and 80s off this 60 break. So now we're going to break through 67, 68. So I am going to hold the rest. Here it goes. Gilead nicely to the high side. But again, if you're a longer term trader, you may hold this, right? But we're scalping. We're in and out here at the end of every day. We don't hold anything overnight. So when you come up to key levels like that, I think this is probably worth getting some out for me because we don't need to worry about a longer duration move. I may have 1,000 shares here. I may have 5,000. I may have 50. The point is, you got to trade what you see and trade your plan. And that, to me, is the most important. Nothing else matters. Trade your plan, trade what you're good at, and the profits, believe me, will run through. Just like AMC, I just didn't believe I thought 260 was going to be the hold here. Now we go right back to the upside. AMC, the only loser is a winner. I like that, David.
Quickly, I threw it in the chat as best I could here, but Sens made a monster push to the upside, breaking out that 185 area. It got to like 225 and then 233 before turning back in. I was all over. I said 225 or 250, whichever turn, I was going to definitely take it. 225 happened. I got 21s short. I was able to quickly get some shares out at 15 on the first leg. Now I'm trying to hold as this looks like it's about to fail. And there we go. I just got some more shares out at 15. I got some bids down around 10. I'll definitely take some out on the way down to hopefully $2. That would give a nice little 10% move overall. If it goes any further than that, I'd probably have like 10% left to see if it goes back into VWAP. If it consolidates around $2 and then falls another time, there's so much room back into the downside on Sens. It also feels good to be able to short a stock that just feels like you're playing negative against the Ottawa Senators.
Oh, yeah, the Ottawa. Yeah, the Leafs taking care of business with Ottawa, though.
You better
so I feel a little bit better about that. Okay, AMC, just got to make sure we do have an order to buy through the high we do. So let's just watch out here. I've been getting some out. It did dip down there. I got a little nervous. Got some out 84s, got some out 87s, as you guys know there. So AMC right now, trying to see what's happening with this stock. Through 288 is the next long for me. So waiting on that one. That's going to be AMC trying to go upside. Now, I don't know what exactly, if it's going to go or not, but there's another out at 286. So we're still long here, man, 271. So yeah, we turn our frown completely upside down now as AMC looking to go up. And a check back on these options. The options now 40% in the money. So I can't clear them out until the show's done. So we'll wait on that one and see where we can go from there. But right now, AMC making moves to the high side.
Yeah, and I want to note here, I was trading Sens earlier, so I did have, of course, a loss on that short. And then one of the things I've been trying to do is like not fight it. There was a great turn at 175. I said, let it go parabolic before you take a shot at some of these, because that's going to be, you want that one trade and that one better idea. And I might not get the absolute hot top here, but certainly close enough to it. You wait for that one trade and that really, really good shot here. Whoa. Monster bid just showed up. I was at 21 short. You guys just saw I was basically getting filled at 210, and then 500,000 shares just showed up on the bid at 220. Yeah, that's me immediately walking away from the trade. I'm not even, look, I see something like that. Maybe it flushes from here. That's great. I can have a winning trade. I'll just take it off. Anytime I see that happen, I don't need this to run back up and start squeezing on me again. Thankfully, I was able to get half of it out at all the way down to this 210, so it's a winning trade. If I just got psyched out, I can live with that, certainly. That came out of absolutely nowhere on me, so it's a bit of an alert there. Somebody just bid 500,000 shares. Gapping sends up from 210 all the way to 220. The other name that is still moving, but it's also to the downside is, well, at least for now, is that Gevo. It is trying to bounce back up. I did not chase it. It's now testing that 1050. I'm not going to take it the second time. If it breaks through 1060, I'm looking for a test of the high of the day again, and I would fade off of that level. So trying to be patient. It'll have to be $11 when we go short again, or that 975 we talked about earlier.
Okay, Brendo, we did it, buddy. VJack right now. Yes, sir. We are going to positive land today. We take VJack. We take this out, guys, straight to the upside. Let's see what's going on with this stock now. Thank you so much, Brendan, for this call out. I didn't, obviously a new one today, so up 15%, taking some off there through 14, out 15s, out 18s, out 25s there. So a good out on VGAC. No idea if this continues to go higher, but we are out now of 40% of this one. So good trade alert on that one. Happy, thank you, Brendan, for that alert on this name. So, you know, good out. We'll see how far this wants to go. I think we can hold to 1350, but new trade alert there on VJack. AMC, guys, some good outs happening right here. I'm still waiting for that 288 to break, but we are getting out of our 270s right now. So a nice little 16 cent, 271, a nice little 15, 16 cent win here on AMC. And you guys have asked for it. I'm trading a little less, not shares, I'm trading more shares, but less names, trying to give you guys some of the best ideas that we have. You can see what happened to GILD. Look at that one, out. Now we have that 20% left. Great out there on the high side. We talked about that breaking, so 68.10 was our out on that side. Good out there. VJack, a new name, breaking back downside, gave you 1350. Let's see if that hits. What's up, Brendan? Richard Branson now on another station, CNBC. So let's wait to see. He's going to talk about this one as it's going to hell right now, Brendan. So maybe he's not saying anything too good, but there he is. Let's watch VJack right now. Thank you, Brendan, for that update.
Yeah, going to be an exciting one, guys. Just a heads up, Richard Branson speaking right now about Virgin Orbit. Let's talk about some currencies here. Yeah, I want to start off with the cryptos once again. It's Ethereum. Neil mentioned this early on. Ethereum winning the day here. 14% so far for Ethereum, back above, 1,400. This is an hourly chart over here. So 125 up to about 144, 145, or sorry, 1144 and a half there for, what am I talking about? 14 is where Ethereum is trading. So that needs to be updated. But nice move anyways for Ethereum. Bitcoin as well following suit, 2.8%. Ripple finally bouncing a little bit as well, 0.8%. Everything else also nicely positive. Overall, a little bit of US dollar weakness ahead of Inauguration Day coming up tomorrow. So the euro up 0.4%. Canada, US, about 0.1% there. Back to 78.5 for the CAD. Still keeps climbing. British pound here, 0.25%, 136 as well. And the Australian dollar and New Zealand also higher. Turkey, the only one to the downside at this point, guys. Back over to you.
Thank you there, Brennan. Just quickly, I said I was going to stay away from GVO, and then I saw 50,000 shares on the offer, so I played off of it here at 44. I was able to scalp some out for like 10, 15 cent area win. If it rolls over, I'm looking to see if I can't hold, but it's going to be if 1050 breaks, if that buyer is gone, either by getting filled or either by pulling that order, I'm just going to get out. You can't really see it here. I'd have to scroll down, and I don't know my scroll bar is not showing up there, but it looks like it's running away from that bid. I should take some more shares out in front of this 10.15 where it stalled before. So we're just going to go ahead and do that. So nice little scalp trader here on GVO, in and out off of that 50. And again, it was just a bit of a size on level 2 there that I was able to take advantage of. Otherwise, I'm still waiting for a 975 breakdown. That's going to be the big one.
Feeling pretty good right now, guys. We take that 288 break. We make it back, and there it is. It's a banger. Not only am I calling levels for you guys, but we're taking these trades. So AMC, turn that frown upside down there as we now break it. Like, it's just hilarious that my only loss today is what's happening right now at AMC as we go to $3 plus. Let's see if we can't hold the rest of this, man. It's been a monster day for us as well. We keep the streak alive. So that's a good one. So here it comes. We keep it alive right now in December. We're positive every day that we've traded so far in December. So for you on the show, we're making more after the show, but we'll wait to see on this one. 293, 294. A nice positive day for us, especially when we see this AMC now going to 295 now. Like, look where we reloaded. 270. We did dump it when we had some problems, but then we get that break, 280, and you guys know we held some there. We got out again, and then it finally breaks to the high side. 297, our best out there. So we go from having the worst out to the best out right there. Obviously, share size much different on that one, but there it goes to the high side. AMC, hallelujah. We did it, guys. We did it on AMC. We finally bring that back to the high side there. We'll check in on the options and see what we're doing there as well. As now the options, now 45% in the money on that one in one day on some $2 Feb calls. So all the way up to upside now. Good trade here. We're making money on the show. We're for you. And we're making money in the personal account on the option side as well. And then we're also making money. Hopefully BFT is continuing to go. Yes, sir. BFT, a big trade. Maybe we'll get to this one after the show. But yeah, we're loving life right now, guys. And I hope you are too. And I hope you're enjoying the show.
Absolutely. Hope you guys are enjoying the show here. And actually, we have a little bit extra for you guys today. And I don't know if we mentioned it here, but we do have another special guest coming through. H-Source is the name. You can actually, companies traded on the OTC and over here in Canada as well, I believe on the Venture Exchange. So, John. Sorry, I'm going to have to go to Brendan in a quick second, but you check that interview out. It's going to be in like 20 minutes or so, and it should be a good one. Brendan, some news, and sorry, Sens just broke $2 even here. We're going to take that break.
Yeah, nothing significant. Just wanted to mention this. TRXC, anyone still watching this one, just took the day high out there, guys, on a volume spike. So back above $3 here. You can see big volume coming in on that move through day highs. Almost 50% for TRXC, guys.
So I was just mentioning that Sens broke downside here. I was able to get 98 half here. Is it just broke 2 even? And again, this is just hopefully see some consolidation. I'm not going to give it too much room on the way back, but I did get shaken out of that trade by that 500,000 share buyer that sort of stepped in while I was in the money. These things are going to happen from time to time, but I'm using that level 2 when I trade, so I got to take advantage of it where I can. If we get some follow through, I'd like to hold this in the VWAP, but if this breaks 5s, I'm going to get out. Look for a re-entry point, probably in and around that 15 to 20 where we're trading this one before. I'm going to go back in a quick second when I can to that 3D because that also broke, so new entry alert to the long side there.
Like, come on, AMC. Like, really? Was really hoping that that would have gone on that break. So, okay. You don't want to? That's fine, AMC. It's fine. You're going to be like that. We just took some out there at 92, and now we'll wait. Back to 88. Again, you know, we did cash out. We cashed out near 3. And if you rewind the tape, and I don't know where the rewind the tape is, but I told you on this first play here that I wanted to take 3 if we had it. So I'm pretty happy with this 298 out there. Good trade. What's up, B?
Just checking on U1, one we've looked at before, guys. U1 halted, currently up 11% here. It's already been 5 minutes, so just going to double check on U1, guys.
Oh, Urban One, once again. Look, a lot of times it is on no news, but you definitely want to make sure you know what's going on. I said 3D, I got in to the position. We talked about this little break here, made a nice little bottom, so 31.65 31.60 was the entry. 62 was my price that we were able to get. I'm going to scalp some in front of that 32 even, just looking at the breakdown. Sort of on the way back in from the morning push. So definitely want to have some out in front of that round number before seeing if we can't run a little bit higher on 3D, maybe testing that 33. We're putting the lower high, just shy of that high of day. So a nice quick little scalp in and out here on 3D systems, and then see if we can't hold it even longer than this into maybe we can get like a full buck out of this trade. That's certainly if it goes any further than 33, I'll be all out. Brendan.
Okay, so it looks like they've registered the trademark One Casino and Resorts. So that could be the news on this U1, guys. They've registered a trademark called One Casino and Resorts, guys.
Okay, so yeah, maybe they're getting into that game. We saw what happened to Fubo TV, right, guys? When Fubo TV came out and bought Victory, there may be something's happening with U1, but it's not open yet, so we'll wait on that one. Yeah, I still see Sir Richard Branson talking there on CNBC, and yeah, this stock is just falling off a little bit. We're testing a little bit more here. We will get out a little bit if it does break this level here, 1333. But let's just wait to see. We did take a little bit more there. Not much. You can see my average price is still 99. So we just took a little bit more there off of this initial break. We had 04s, I believe, or 05. So we averaged that back down a little bit. Not a big position, like I said. I'm not going to get married to a stock that we really have no idea where this thing's going to go or how it's going to trade. So a 1333 out on VGAC looks to be something that I like. And then AMC still bothering me. Let's see, maybe I'll put some outs on 91s, but really I still think we can go for one more squeeze to the high side here. So let's watch out what it does at 3. The only out I have is 93s here. So we break, we'll take some 93s, and then we'll see if we can go back to 98. But other than that, GILD still 26 cents in the money off of some news there that Brennan just gave me about Merck. And then BlackBerry's just hovering around, trying to come back here. So we still have high of the day insights for BlackBerry. But yeah, been a good day trading here today, guys.
Absolutely. I'm still holding BlackBerry as well. 3D also working in the money. Palantir, I've basically had all day long and I continue to hold it. The only one that's not working to the long side is going to be Ride. I did get some out for a scalp, but it's now back below that 24 mark. It's Lemonade I want to talk about here. I've been mentioning this one is a big-time pullback candidate for a few weeks now. For at least a few sessions in a row. It just broke 140. That was a bit of 140 to 142 was the level we talked about last week. Now it starts to feel like you're going to get a bit of a push, hopefully down to this like 125, where it might be a little safer to pick this one up. They also had a short seller report come out against them. That's been part of the reason for the flush, but that was actually the second part of the move. It had already come off like 15, 20 bucks before that report came out. Looking for 125 at some point to find a little bit of support on Lemonade. The insurance play, I suppose, if you want to call it that. I want to go over to Maxar. We had a mixed result. There we go. We had a mixed result on that short trade. We were able to get some out for the scalp win. And then the tight stop here at 52, which I said was going to be the plan. Maxar breaks out through high of day and is now consolidating higher. So it's still up 9%. Thankfully, because we have a bit of a plan of action here, that's how you're able to save yourself going counter trend over in Maxar. This name is a bit of a play as well on that ARC space SPAC. So it's getting another push to the upside. Speaking of that, Virgin Galactic is not. So it's selling off a little bit, well, continuing to sell off here. It was a good long a couple of times here off of this 31.50. Then accidentally got short, just got flat. I'm not bottom picking today on Virgin Galactic. I feel like it might be a better play if it gets to 30 bucks. If it goes that far, I'll look for a bottom pick, but nothing just yet for me. Let's go to Miss V. It's time for our European update.
Hey guys, European markets are mixed. Incoming US Treasury Secretary's speech is in focus. Russia is down 0.83%. Spain is down 0.38%. France is down 0.17%. And Switzerland is flat. Logitech, trading in Switzerland, is down almost 6% after hitting a high record on improved 2021 forecast. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Valeria. Trying to make a second push here is that 3D. It is stalling out. Now, there was a nice break. We talked about this here at VWAP 3160. I got some out in front of 32. It just broke 32 and then sort of snapped back. So I'll take another leg out here for a 50-cent win. We will go power up for this one. We waited very, very patiently for 3D systems long. A couple of ways that we definitely would have liked to have it. Certainly, if it had tested 30 even down here, I would have taken a bottom pick. But we did the breakout anyways. And the next leg is going to be somewhere around 33. It's this the lower high that it put in after that parabolic move up. I'll let it trade into 33 and then see what happens and try to do it manually for the exit point of that trade. Sean mentioned bingo. I did call it up and sort of noted one level when he did. I mean, obviously it went to 10 bucks and turned around. But this bottom here at 9.30 is now what sort of concerns me. If we break 9.30 on bingo, or if there's any size at that price, I'm going to be taking a short on BNGO through 9.30. But more of a scalp trade because you do have this 9 to 9.10 level where this thing's got jumped off in the morning here. Brendan?
Anyone watching, guys, U1 halted again. So it did open there, 680-ish, ripped up to 7.5. Halted again, this time volatility. Guys.
Here we go.
We know, yeah, I mean, it looks like we know the news on that one, so we'll wait to see what it wants to do. This VGAC, we did take a little bit there, and then now we take it off, some off anyways, but we're light now, so we'll wait to see if it goes back to the high side. Now we're going to give it like a 13 break, something like that, maybe even back down to this spot, so we will have another negative name on the board, especially if it hits downside. If it goes up, if we can get it back long again, we'll be fine, because our average price now is 87, not great, but not bad. So we are going to wait to see if that one can hit now. A VGAC waiting for 12.75, sort of where we started to go. It is kind of crazy. We talk about this all the time. Don't trade blind. And then we had Richard Branson come up there and talk while we were in position. So that's going to happen. And then we got caught in the GameStop. Still a fine trade, but we got caught when Citron came out during that report as well. Of course, Citron waits till it makes these moves before they release it. Like what?
They're all like, you know how it goes, Sean. It's always already coming off of those highs before you get that report released, and it'll never be while it's at the top. And I don't think that's ever going to change.
Yeah, I like 39.70 right here on GameStop now that report's done. So let's watch 39.70 there to go long on GameStop. And our AMC is battling, man. It's trying to go. We talked about getting some out 93. And again, I'm taking your advice, guys, and letting you know the positions I like, when I'm getting in, what the levels are, so on and so forth. So here we go to the upside. AMC, I don't have any other orders. Now we wait for $3 to break. And I think you can probably start going on 3. We talked about the way that looks here. I mean, will the squeeze even happen even more at $3? It's crossing the 50 period rate now. You could get a squeeze up. We've been near 4 before, so it could break. I mean, it was only $4 back December 11th, so there is a possibility for that to get right back to 4. Let's see what happens on a nice little squeeze here. You know where we're long, man. We were long from down here. 71 down here. That's our worst trade. Long 71, then long again 88 on that break. So let's watch out for $3 coming, guys.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching this U1 when we open back up here. Just going to give you like the daily chart look. Watching 760 level. This is right above the current halt price at 748. It's halted a couple times here. If it breaks through that, sort of it opens up above 760, look to see if it tests that sort of 9 to 920 area to the top side. I'm going to go to Brendan in just a quick second. If we open below this 750, I look to play off of that 760 as a bit of a stop and then just go short right then and there. Cheap. locates for us. Brennan?
If you joined us in the pre-market, guys, we talked about Peloton with a downgrade today. UBS price target decrease as well. 6.5% downside here for Peloton. We're coming into big levels here on the daily chart for PTON.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Peloton's the one that I'm most nervous about in my shorter term play there. And it's so funny because I was just talking, like I said earlier, to Mark about that 140 level, and it looks like it wants to break. So we got to watch out for Peloton here. Down that 6.5%. We talked about Affirm. That's a good way to get into some Peloton as well. But right now it looks like Peloton breaking, guys, downside. Not a good trade for the long. I don't know if there's going to be a bad earnings play coming or not on Peloton, but it has come off the last couple days.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's a volatility halt and you one, I feel sort of safe saying we should open up in like a minute or so, or just shy of that. But I'm going to be hunting that level. Just worth noting here, at $3 is also AMC, and I switched to level 2, but I don't want to go off here. But there is some size. It's not a heck of a lot considering how big that level is psychologically, but there is like 500,000 shares on the offer if you guys are interested in that level. So it could be good for a bit of a breakout. But I'm looking for U1 to open any second now, so I want to make sure my eyes are on that level too.
Yeah, I mean, what a great, again, I just put an order, I just put an order at 97 there to get some out of BlackBerry, of AMC. We can check back in on BlackBerry. We still have BlackBerry. It's an 11-cent winner now. We're looking at this name to go high side now, BlackBerry. It's looking to break out. It just takes that 1140. We could see 1150, nice little even number there. Like we just mentioned though, AMC hovering now 96. It didn't break $3, no. No, it didn't. We do have a candle breaking 3, but it did not. So watch out for 302 there, possibly coming on the high side of AMC. That's where that dark print went, 3301. Come on, just go. I'm waiting on a inverted gateway at 97, so hopefully we can get some 97s if it does pop. But I wonder if I'm just be a little foolish right now, not taking this out on AMC, guys.
Yeah, so I just missed like multiple entries into U1. I got some shares at 732. I then tried again around the same price. I tried again in the 720s. I'm not going to chase that far. It literally ticked down to 690 without me getting any shares out the first time. So I'm going to make sure I get some bids in here. The last halt price bottom was at that 665. So I like that for a bit of a target. Also alert here to sends 215, a bit of a top. I got short in front of that. So first leg out here on U1. I talk about this all the time where I like these, call them halt reopen trades. I really don't. I guess it's like multiple halts and then, sort of open lower or hold a level below like the previous halt price. So that's the idea. I sort of talked about what I was going to do here. Unfortunately, I just couldn't get any more shares in the initial entry at 730. I want to be all out in front of 665, hopefully not holding this trade too long. And of course, my out is going to be back at this 750 level where, we just had the halt at 48. So of course, 50 is going to be the out.
Okay, AMC, here we go. Now we're feeling like it. Let's see if it breaks. So now we're up to 299. We can fix some more out. 97, 99s. Now we'll hold the rest. You can see where we're long, man. It's a big trade, and we're really happy with this one. There's $3 squeeze, baby. We've got the options on this play as well, and now we're trying to break through 3. So let's see if it goes now. This is going to be a good trade. Well, we already have a good trade on AM, so we've made a decent amount of our money back, and it's just so funny that this was the long that we loved before we got hammered right there. So nice little upside move. We made a lot of trades today, 273 fills. So it's been a exciting, fast-paced day for me on some of these fills. We haven't traded NEO yet or XPeng or some of those usual suspects, which is a little surprising to me. But when you have AMC doing this kind of stuff, yeah, we're going to watch and wait. So here it comes, trying to break through that $3 mark. Obviously, I like the trade. There's BlackBerry as well. I mean, you want to talk about some winners, guys. Do we have them on board today or not, or what? BlackBerry, nice win again. Like long 1070, long again there, 1125, and hell yeah. We go long again, and nicely in the money as we go back to days high on BlackBerry. So BlackBerry, AMC, good outs, man. 97s and 99s, as it does resist that $3. So yeah, we're doing well today. It's been a big day. Let's just keep the momentum going.
I was sitting on ARCA at 299. And it's like, I could have sat on any other gateway, and it's like, you know what, that's pie in my face. I could have just paid to get that fill passively at 99 and ensure my price, or I could have removed liquidity at 98. But AMC, I talked about the size of 3 even. Once that trade comes once, like that and gives you that flush back in, I am not taking it the second time. That is absolutely not going to happen, guys. So there was that one shot of 3 even. I think maybe still you get that break through 3 to the upside. You mentioned BlackBerry. I will just note there, it's taken forever, but I had this order in front of 1150 to take some shares out for a while now. It finally filled. I'm still holding half the position to get a bigger break. I thought maybe this would eventually get us to like $12 push. So here we go, 11.75, then $12 will be the next 2 targets here. If this is a failed break through 50s, I will definitely, if I can, take some shares out between this price area, this 11.35 originally, where we made it high, and then this 11.50, but it doesn't look like it's a failed break right now. Looks like finally BlackBerry's getting its continuation, oddly enough, at the same time as AMC. So that would be painful for anyone shorting these 2 simultaneously.
Yep.
I'm not sure why you would be, but if you are.
There goes BlackBerry, guys. One of the higher stocks that we've had today. So the money just keeps on falling down here. It's been a good day. Not huge because of that misstep with AMC, but we're still happy. It's a positive day for us. Up to 11.50, 11.55. We are going to tweet this out. So follow us all on Instagram and on Twitter as we go. So been a big day. We do have our guest coming up very, very soon with Brendan. So stay tuned for that H-Source coming. Brendan's going to talk all about that new company. We're going to find out about H-Source coming soon with Brendan there on the desk. So that's going to be coming up very, very soon. Other than that, man, we can review some of the positions that we have. We're all out of GILD. I mean, not all out. We do have that 20%, but it's been a nice little win. I'm going to wait for it to break through the 67.50 area, which is coming down. We're long right here, so we could get that. We did drop our VJack off at the, like, look at that. Like, again, the very bottom again, but that's fine. 13.30. I don't know why I picked that. I'll have to look back at why. I think it was this break of VWAP, and we just got, because liquidity is kind of sparse on this thing, I guess, when it was opening up. We did get a bad wick down there, but now we're coming back to this level. I still think we break new highs on this name. And other than that, man, BlackBerry, AMC, still near highs. Let's see if we take out $3. We're going to go long, so if you see me hit that when the show's over, when we're with Brendan, you know I'm going to be going long through $3 on AMC, guys.
Yeah, I talk about this time and time again with some of these high flyers, Sean, and it's not that you can't play this a different way, but wait for the halt, because they halt stocks for a reason, for volatility, and that's so that you can see proper price discovery and things will calm down. And then once you get a halt that shows weakness, that's what I was looking for. I did get that last out there at 676. Obviously, if you wait for it to come down instead of on the way up, there's no guarantee you can get the position you want. You saw me with a couple of orders I had to cancel, trying to get more in this same range between 720 and 730, but the trade works as planned, so sort of file that one away is a good one. Ideally, it would have been for more shares, but beggars can't be choosers, and if you want to save yourself some coin or risk a little bit more efficiently, you are going to give up some upside. In this case, getting it on the way down instead of up doesn't guarantee you the fill that you're always going to want here. I'm sort of watching BlackBerry did come back down to that 1150 mark, so if we consolidate here any longer, I might take one more leg off in this price range and then see if we can't still hold for 1175.
Okay, yeah, so we didn't get anything else out here. I mean, I hate still talking about the same stock, but we are waiting for AMC. Okay, AMD, that's funny. AMC to AMD, I really didn't do that on purpose. Just noticing that this is down to 88 even right now on AMC. AMD again, breaking back down. It's trying to get going. We did make a low of 87 and change. Like I keep saying, I think this, the demise of AMD for some reason, well overstated due to what's happened to Intel. So I think that there's definitely an opportunity here to get some AMD on the cheap. If you look at a daily chart here, it's broke that 50 period, which is a concern to me. So don't, that's one thing I'm a little nervous about. We could get back down into the 75 range. But look, I like the SMH. I've talked about SMH, the semiconductors. That's been a big one. If you look at SMH here, opportunity to get in. It's on the Amex. There it is. SMH. Or is it an NQ? Yeah, there it is. NQ name? Yeah, here it is. So let's get the daily chart here. It's been a nice little run up. You saw NVIDIA, again, from December 215 up to 240. So a nice little break. There's that break that we talked about when someone asked us on our AMAs. I said I liked SMH breaking out. So that's 221 up to 240. A nice little 10% return in a matter of 10 days. So that's a good one if you're watching some of these semis. NVIDIA and AMD, TSM, Taiwan semis continues to go as well. But there's lots of names to trade if you did like the semiconductors. Just doesn't look like it's AMD right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You play patiently and know which one you want to get into when they move, I think is the best point that Sean's making there. A quick adjustment. I know we're going to go to our guest in just a quick second. I had a 975 stop on Givo. I'm moving it to 985, double top at exactly that price. So I wanted to make sure that you guys know, just so you wouldn't think that I had an order that was incorrect. 985 for me on Givo. It is now time for a guest of the day. Let's go to Brendan at the desk for introduction.
All right, guys, our guest today, John Kupis, CEO of HSource, in a time when medical equipment supply is so vital in saving lives for hospitals and the medical industry in general. Our guest today and company HSource have developed innovative technology aimed at solving some of those supply chain disruptions in the medical industry. As I mentioned, John Kupis, CEO of HSource, joining us today to discuss a very busy time for you and the company. John, great to have you. First off, hope you're well. Tell us a little bit about HSource in general to start. We've had a little bit of a pivot, still in the medical industry and a biotech company overall.
Well, first, it's really good to be here. Thanks for having me on. And yes, you're right. There was a pivot. When COVID hit last spring in March, the hospital stopped elective surgery. So our original model was to move medical supplies, both medical supplies, capital equipment, and pharmacy products between hospitals and direct from manufacturers to hospitals. So when COVID hit, all the elective surgery stopped. And so a lot of that activity stopped. So it was necessary for us to pivot toward PPE and to begin to leverage the technology that we had built to move those assets between hospitals to allow hospitals to link directly with manufacturers and suppliers, and also expand it to government later.
So in a time when obviously this is very top of mind for everyone, and especially if anyone knows anyone who works in the medical industry and has been affected by the pandemic in general, let's talk a little bit about the opportunity here as far as the business is concerned. I want to get into the technology specifically and the platform as well. There's also a blockchain tie into this that we'll discuss, but let's discuss some opportunities that have come both in the U.S. and also in the European marketplace.
Well, you're right. Well, I spent a lot of time in Europe this summer, so we made some very good connections, and we are now working direct with some of the European governments, different countries, and different states within those governments. So that's been exciting, and I would watch the press over the next few weeks. You'll see some pretty interesting announcements with PPE, where they're excited to go to a reliable source, cut all these layers out, and the cost layers, the brokers, all the different groups, and to work directly with a trusted supplier through a trusted platform to a trusted buyer. So we're pretty excited about that in Europe, and we've done the same thing in the US for some large hospital groups, and also with states and local governments and first responders. And we're pretty excited to, after the new administration comes in, we think we'll have some pretty exciting things to talk about with the federal government as well.
Yeah, busy week in the U.S. to say the least. Let's talk about the platform for anyone not necessarily familiar with the company overall and the platform, the software itself. Tell us a little bit about what this is exactly and how it affects hospitals.
Well, again, I'll start with originally and then the pivot. Originally, there was a lot of excess product in hospitals. They would have excess things in the OR, in the cath lab, in the heart lab, and we would allow hospitals to trade those with each other. But what's happened now with the pivot, we do all the FDA track and trace, which is unusual. So we link to the FDA recall database. We also do the pharmacy tracking, and we meet all the current DSCSA standards for pharmacy. We also meet the 2024 standards. So what does that mean? It means we track by NDC code, we track if there's any recall, we track if there are any quality issues through it. And by meeting the 2024 standards, we can also track a serialized pharma product, and that's to avoid counterfeits and to really tighten up the distribution in the healthcare supply chain. So we already meet those standards on our platform. And so when I said that we're a trusted platform for a government or a hospital network, that's why. Because we're not only moving a product like an e-commerce platform, you have full visibility into where it came from, where it moved to, who has ownership and custody along the way to the end user.
And in this case, it's curious you say that as far as knockoffs are concerned. Is that a big problem in this industry?
Huge. I'll
Really?
give you an example from mission donation. If you look at like the Gates Foundation, I'm going to use a report that they did. About 70% of the drugs were the wrong efficacy. So they would buy it from a manufacturer, but it might be 70% of the efficacy, even though it was supposedly the same product. Or people would, if you look at even some of the things, nitrile gloves and PPE, there are knockoffs. People will put it in a box of a name manufacturer. And if you're tracking that serial number and that lot number and verify that with the manufacturer, you avoid the counterfeiting, or you make it much harder for the people to do.
The company recently developed a relationship with E&Y. Tell us a little bit about that relationship and how it got started.
Well, it started back in 2019, and we worked with them on their blockchain. They're a leader in the blockchain technologies, and they're just a tremendous group. I should say that quite a few years ago, before I joined HSource, I was a national lead at the old Ernst & Young, which they renamed to the vernacular EY. And I was in the healthcare space for software for healthcare. And anyway, we began to work with them. We worked with their excellent global blockchain team, and they helped us develop our blockchain strategy.
Now, John, everyone talking about the vaccine right now. It's top of mind. It's top of headlines when you listen to any news broadcast these days. The vaccine rollout currently underway globally, is that something that HSource can participate in? And if so, tell us how that is progressing.
Great question. Yes, you can't look at any news outlet and see that there aren't issues with distribution of the vaccine. One of the tricks with this vaccine is that you have to have the ability to track what's called cold line storage. It has very strict temperature control requirements for the vaccine. But we are involved in discussions with some different government entities and some of the manufacturers, specifically out of India, to help distribute the product to governments that may not have the same access as, say, the United States or Canada or some of Europe. There's a real need, for instance, in the Caribbean, and there's a real opportunity to help there, or in parts other than, say, Brazil or Argentina in South America. So we're working on that. It's early, but we're very hopeful. And because we track that serial number in the full pharmacy from start to finish, there is an opportunity for us there, and we're working on that as we speak.
John Cupa, CEO of HSource, joining us today. John, tell us a little bit about this space in general. Is there competition? And if so, what does the marketplace look like for alternatives for both hospitals and other medical professionals to use?
Right now, we don't have a direct competitor. So that's the good news. And the opportunity right now, when the pandemic hit, you've seen all the articles. There was a lot of difficulty in getting the product for the hospitals. And you saw the horror stories where frontline workers didn't have what they needed. So a lot of the hospitals right now are moving toward what's called self-sourcing, or moving direct to the manufacturer and maybe not going through a distributor or a GPO. And our platform is uniquely positioned to help that. And so we're really excited about that. And we have groups that are looking at our platform. I would look for press coming up on that people will start to use it. So it's a great opportunity for us to allow that hospital to control their supply chain, direct with the manufacturer, direct with the distributors. It takes a few layers out, so it should reduce the cost and improve the just-in-time process. And the other thing that really differentiates our platform, I'm going to use an example that we're working with currently, and again, people will hear more about over the next few weeks. But our platform isn't just a distribution platform. We can take product. Let's take an example of a state in the US where you buy product, let's say it's nitrile gloves and masks for the frontline workers, and it goes into 12 warehouses in that state. Well, our software can track that product in the warehouse. It can track all the expiration dates, and then it can also manage the flow of that product to the individual hospitals, the agencies, the police, the emergency response. Wherever that product needs to go, we can track that and manage that for that state or government entity. And that's where we're really have pivoted to. You'll see announcements around that, and they're really pretty exciting.
There's obviously massive opportunity, currently because of the pandemic and everything that's happening. Let's look down the road a little bit, John. Best case scenario. Let's say in the spring or the summer, a little bit further along, we get into a point where the pandemic is starting to be controlled. We have the vaccine rollout. Things are getting a little bit better. What does the marketplace for this product look like in a post-pandemic world?
The people that have done it well and have been dependable and reliable will continue to be part of the medical supply chain and will be self-sourcing, and we're not totally reliant on PPE. We will be moving other products through the platform. We have been negotiating with different suppliers for that. And again, post the inauguration, we expect some really interesting announcements where we're working not just with PPE, but general requisition for parts of the US government and possibly other countries through the platform, as well as for hospitals. So that's the full pivot. Where PPE is going to have a slowdown, no question. As the vaccine, you begin to hit saturation, no question it will. But if we were the dependable supplier now, people will use the platform to move the 400 to 700 products that they routinely need in the hospitals because it was steady and dependable at a time of crisis.
And an important marketplace going forward in the future as well, the point. John Cupa, CEO of HSource. A real pleasure talking to you today. Best of luck going forward. I hope you'll come back and give us an update.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Brandon.
My pleasure. There we go, guys. A look at HSource, HSI on the Venture Exchange. You can check it out on the OTC market, HSCF as well, guys.
Thanks a lot there, Brendan. So as always, another interesting interview. I saw some love in the chat there, talking about our guest. I do want to come back to a couple of names here. I know we don't have very much time. I'm just watching this sense. I've been in and out multiple times in and around this 225 level where it's trying to roll over. Tight stops each time. I am back in here. High of the day is at this 233, but I'm taking basically like 1 penny stops to make sure I'm not hanging on to this one. It is making a bit of a run at the high. I just want to be in position in the event that we do get that flush, and I'm playing off of the high of the day there. There is one other mover. Ride came all the way back. So we did get that break. We took a nice little win, but it just broke 23.85 here. So broke this low. We'll get out of the rest of that trade. So maybe got a little bit greedy with this one. I'm still going to like that 25 level a little bit later on, hopefully in the week, maybe even later on today if we do get a breakout at 25 even on Lordstown.
I'm excited to see all the earnings that are coming up soon. We do have big earnings days coming with banks, Netflix coming on board. Oh, I just ruined it. What up, Bren?
Yeah, let's a big week to say the least, guys. Let's jump right into things here. A few to talk about going into. These are again either after market tonight or before the market opens tomorrow, guys. Hit it. There we go.
Yeah, Fastenal is going to be there as well. That's not Fastly, that's Fastenal. Netflix breaking out past that 500. Obvious support there. We'll see what happens on that kind of a play. And then P&G will be pretty boring. I don't know. I know you don't like. We'll talk about Morgan Stanley.
Yeah, I mean, obviously all the banks have been in play, and we're getting the last of them. Morgan Stanley is in a bit like 74 to 77 has been a big range all week long, or at least the last couple of weeks for Morgan Stanley. So hopefully looking for a breakout on that name. Talked about being patient with it until they actually had their earnings. So we finally get that before they open. And my daughter's going to absolutely love this one because we did a little bit of this with some Archibald on Netflix. Ms. V, what is the national day?
Thank you, Neil. And hey, guys, thank you very much for joining us today. I hope you had a great trading morning, and I wish you a good rest of the day. We will see you tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and happy National Popcorn Day.
I'm not a gigantic popcorn fan. Unless it's I love like caramel corn. I love like specialty flavored popcorns. There's like a champagne one that my wife gets. I don't even know where she gets it from, but it's tasty. Regular popcorn, I'm not a huge fan. My daughter absolutely dies to have it. It is what it is. So we keep literally boxes of it in our storage room. It has been a wild and fun show. I know for a lot of you guys, there's been lots of big movers and winners. Watch out. 3 has still not really successfully broken AMC, but it is still testing towards that top. So still some moves to be had there. And Sens just took the top off at 233. Thankfully, I was taking 1 penny hits on that, so it didn't ruin my day with that short. Watch out for 250 on the way upside. For the entire team, for Miss V, for Manchonkatini and the Plaid looking good, and for Brennan Wickens, I'm Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live, and we'll see you tomorrow, guys.